Welcome, everybody. I'm Love Coach Scott Thomas, and it is January 16th, 2021. And of course, it's Saturday Night Live for the Global Peace Tribe. And tonight is a really special show. We are dedicating it to Martin Luther King. And to go right into that, I wanted to share a very, very brief video that Jay put together for us.
Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate significance.
Oof. Was everybody able to hear that? Because somebody said no sound. Okay, great. Thank you. So just hearing his voice, hearing the vibration of that man who we honor today. And so tonight we're going to hear from a lot of community leaders because we're focusing on the vision that Martin Luther King had for community and service. I want to acknowledge John and Summer Raymer, who we're going to meet a little bit later today. They came up with that idea. They've been hosting dozens of different workshops and seminars and events all around Martin Luther King weekend. And of course, I want to welcome all of you who are watching. And I want to especially welcome those of you who are watching on Facebook. You can still come into our Zoom room, and we really want to encourage you to do that. Please come into our Zoom room, and it's easy to do that. You just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and register. It takes about a minute to register. And that way we get your name and your email address, and we can send you the replay of tonight's show and access to all 41 previous shows that we've done. We've been doing this show now since the pandemic began. So please come join us. We are the Global Peace Tribe, and we are getting to know each other, meeting each other, creating connection with each other. And if you can hear my voice, you're a very important part of who we are as we all come together. I also want to acknowledge that about 25% of the people who end up watching this show watch the video replay, and you're just as important to all of us. So thank you, welcome. I'm especially excited about tonight's show. The speakers that we have, the videos we're going to show, it's all quite special. And now it's my pleasure to turn it over to my producing partner, my co-host, the person who makes so many things happen for us. Here's Deborah Giusti.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome everyone to what is now our 41st show that we have produced every Saturday night since the lockdown in April during these highly challenging but very evolutionary times. And we've launched our winter season, and we have 13 new shows for you. And again, we thank you so much for your donations when you register to be on Zoom, because that really helps us produce these quality shows for you each week. So thank you so much. And as like Scott said, yes, this is a very special show tonight. Our theme is honoring Martin Luther King's vision for community and service. And aren't his words and important visions more important today than ever before? Aren't they just starting to land in our culture, in our community? His birthday was January 15th, but the whole nation will celebrate him on Monday, January 18th. And I believe this year it will be more meaningful than ever before. What is your life blueprint is a question that Dr. King asked. And he followed that profound question with keen insights as to what matters most in life. This included commitment to community and being of service. So we are honoring his legacy in this show by spotlighting individuals and organizations that are making a difference in their local communities. So we're bringing together community leaders, activists, artists who are dedicated to creating a better world locally and globally. And I'd love to introduce you now to our incredible presenters. First of all, I want to honor Reverend Martin Luther King, minister and activist who became the most visible spokesperson and leader in the civil rights movement from 1955 until his assassination in 1968. And his words are so relevant today more than ever before. And I want to acknowledge Cindy Acker. She is a 5-time award-winning educator and playwright. And we are going to hear from her and hear about her very important show that's happening tomorrow. And acknowledging Reverend Tim Lytle. He's the senior minister of Unity in Marin, north of San Francisco, and serves on the board of Unity Worldwide Ministries. And saying hello to John and Summer Raymer. They are a powerful sacred partnership, creating many things together for the healing and transformation of the planet, including the Compassion Games, Sign Network, and much, much more that they're hosting for Martin Luther King weekend. And we're going to hear about that. And we're going to be featuring Antoinette Rusdawa Hall and Patu Batan. She's a world-renowned keyboardist in the reggae industry, and she is very proactive in the global outreach minister. Patu Batan is a 4-decade public presence in the reggae music and is now doing his ministry, creating positive and uplifting messages of global peace and love for humanity. And as always, we have incredible musicians. We're bringing back one of our favorite musical performers, Nina Gray. She's a singer-songwriter, recording artist who's committed to creating music with conscious, love-centric messages. And we're featuring Jenna Carter for the first time. She's a 20-year-old musician on the journey of doing her dharma of incredible voice and music. And we're having Sri Kala. He's a songwriter and musician that sees art as a way to collect the fragments of self and bring them into a creative expression for healing of the individual and the audience. And we're going to have a lot of spoken word presenters. We have Oshala Dean. She is a dancer, producer, writer, spoken word artist, and wellness professional that has touched many. And we're going to be supporting her nonprofit organization for the arts today. We have Marshall Jones. He's a performance artist and incredible spoken word poet. We will have Lumbawa Edwards, fine artist, community healing circle leader, and Ricardo Moncrief. He's a retired Vietnam vet going from PTSD to social equity activism to innovative art is health and out-of-the-box empowerment projects. And as always, we want to honor our sponsor and executive producer, Jay Mayer, and associate producer, Jan Kaplan. So thank you, Jay and Jan, for supporting us and Saturday Night Live in all the ways that you do for incredible shows. I also want to acknowledge Christy Michael, who's been a collaborative partner on this show. So thank you very much, Christy. And our GoFundMe, we're starting our GoFundMe program where we're going to be generating income from your green love that you'll share with us during the show by donating to our nonprofit. We've generated over $70,000 last year for incredible, valuable nonprofits and victims of California fire and other accidents. So this is how we utilize this show, is getting the power of community to spread the green love for healing. So we appreciate your donations during the show, and we'll share more about that later. And we'll put the links for the donations in the chat room. But now we always love to start with music, because music unites us all and raises the vibration to set a very high vibration for the show. So I'm so happy to bring on Nina Gray. She's a singer-songwriter, recording artist, committed to creating music with conscious love messages. She has, since 2015, created and released over 180 original songs and videos with her signature. And most recently, she's been exploring her love of music and community by curating live jam sessions called Soul Jams in the LA. Spoken word, artists, singers, rappers, musicians, dancers, and spectators gather together for impromptu works. And we just love her music, and I'm so happy, Nina, to have you back and have you set the stage for this incredible show tonight. Welcome, Nina.
We're not hearing you, Nina.
Let's see.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
How's that? Okay. And I literally have a helicopter flowing overhead right now. So I'm going to take 5 seconds while this passes. Maybe we can take a collective breath together and breathe in this beautiful community. Wonderful. Such an honor and a pleasure to be here with you. I am beaming out big love from my heart from Los Angeles, California. And I'll be opening up with a song called Freedom. It was written while contemplating the foundation of this nation and often what we find as the dissonance between some of the statements that we were founded on and the realities for many communities here in the United States. While the population of the United States accounts for 4.4% of the global population, we represent 21% of incarcerated people worldwide. Furthermore, the population of Black African Americans in prison is 40% compared to the 13% that they represent in this nation from the population. The counterpart is 64% of white Americans account for only 39% of the imprisoned population here. So I want to bring this message of freedom as we step into 2021. And we've had a tumultuous and fantastic 2020 as far as what it's revealed for us. And I really believe that we get to step forward and start to really shift these institutions that hold us back from the unity and the peace and the harmony that so many of us seek. And we get to rise up and say, no more. Let's do something new. Bernice King, beloved daughter of Martin Luther King Jr., recently shared, acknowledgement and repentance, accountability and justice come before healing and unity. And Marianne Williamson says the same thing. This national atonement must happen before we can successfully move forward together. I'm a firm believer of that as well, and I know that we're capable of it. So I shared this song, Freedom, to celebrate this notion of what we all deserve and where I know we're going. And it might take us rolling up our sleeves a little bit more, but may we all be committed to the freedom of all. Hey, what if we retold the story? Remember the glory of all of our differences. And hey, what if we rewrote the script, let go of all that old shit in our heads? And hey, what if we laid down our weapons? What if we stopped pretending hatred was justified? And hey, what if we raised the bar up, demanded a little more out of our lives? 'Cause I've always dreamed about freedom, freedom. But I know we'll never be about freedom till it belongs to all of us. Men have talked for years on war and peace, yeah. They've talked themselves blue and red in the face. Men have built walls where there could have been bridges held. Men created race to separate. We'll blame it on our lack of urgency. Blame it on just having better things to do. Well, as we rise together together in 2021, turning a blind eye is something we must refuse. 'Cause I've always dreamed about peace and harmony, but I know we'll never be about peace until there's justice in these streets. I've always dreamed about freedom, freedom. And I know that we're gonna be about freedom, 'cause it belongs to all of us. And if we could just take 30 seconds of silence for everyone that is behind bars, serving sentences that far outweigh their debt to society, for everyone that is locked up for crimes they did not commit, for every family member that is not there to join their family at the table. You are not forgotten, and we continue to do the work for you. Now, if we could take some silence and just beam some love and prayers out of our heart to those men and women behind bars. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nina. It's just such a special soul, and we're so grateful to have you part of our Saturday Night Alive family. And thank you for getting us off to such a beautiful start. We're blessed. Nina's going to come back again, but I do want to let people know how you can get more of her. Nina does session work. She does. Tell us about the vocal work and the session work that you do, Nina.
Absolutely. I have a deep passion and love for guiding people if they want to become stronger and more authentic in their speaking voice, in their singing voice, in their written voice. I love guiding people in one-on-one sessions to tap into their deeper truth and uncover their authentic soul voice so they can show up for these revolutionary times in the ways that they feel called to.
Well, beautiful. Thank you so much. We love you. Thank you.
Love you too.
Wow. Well, we're 20 minutes in and I'm already teared up. So thank goodness I've got a video to show. We're going to show several videos created by Pato Banton. Those of you who came into our Zoom room early got to see an interview with Pato. And I think he's just done a beautiful job. And so here is his tribute to Reverend Martin Luther King.
Yeah. This one is dedicated to the King, Martin Luther King, our civil rights champion. Understand me, no man. And this one is dedicated to all the people all over the world, to every man and woman, every boy and girl, to everyone who believes that equal rights and justice should apply to all, regardless of our color, class, or creed. This one's for Martin Luther King, our frontline soldier, Martin Luther King, our peaceful warrior, Martin Luther King, our civil rights leader, Martin Luther King. This one's for him. Well, just like MLK, I have a dream today. And like Bob Marley, I got so much things to say. Hey, wanna talk about empathy, equity and equality. Wanna talk about ending war and how to end poverty, how to end racial hate and police brutality. Cause where there's no justice, oh Jah, there can be no peace. Seems like humanity is in a state of emergency. We need more ethical leaders with a sense of integrity, like Martin Luther King, our frontline soldier, Martin Luther King, our peaceful warrior, Martin Luther King, our civil rights leader, Martin Luther King. This one's for him. You see, there are so many problems, and we need some solutions. Yes, let's get together now and start a love revolution. And we can't stop, no, we can't slow up. We gotta keep pressing on. If you can't run, then walk. Can't walk, then it's time to crawl. He said, hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Darkness can't drive out darkness. Only light can do that, he said. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. I've decided to stick with love. Hate is too much to bear. He said, you can kill the dreamer, but you can't kill the dream. You see, unconditional love will rule in eternity. He said, the time is always ripe to do what is right. Lord, I hear the voice of Jesus say, don't give up the fight. He said, where do we go from here? Chaos or community, my people. Instead of fighting each other, show some unity. He said, we fight injustice with civil disobedience. So speak up, don't be silent, and always remain non-violent. Yeah, let's work it out, don't fight it out. Come on everybody, let me hear you sing it. Let's work it out, don't fight it out. This one is for the king. Let's work it out, don't fight it out. Come on everybody, one more time. Let's work it out, don't fight it out. Yeah. This one's for Martin Luther King, our frontline soldier, Martin Luther King, our peaceful warrior, Martin Luther King, our civil rights leader, Martin Luther King. This one's for him. This one's for Martin Luther King, our frontline soldier, Martin Luther King, our peaceful warrior, Martin Luther King, our civil rights leader, Martin Luther King. This one's for him.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day
That was awesome. I'm here. Oh my goodness. Scott, can you hear me?
Is that Oshala?
Yes. Hi.
What's going on, my sister?
Hi. Oh my God. We're right in the middle of our MLK celebration. We got kids and actually I just pulled away. So I apologize, everybody, but I'm here and just that was beautiful. I just saw that and thank you so much. We're steeped in our Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King right now. So thank you. Blessings to you all.
You're muted.
Uh-oh, I'm muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
You're going to be on after I show this video. I have one more video to show, and then you're on for the agenda. So.
Oh, okay. You can hear me now, though, right?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
But I'm going to mute you right now so that it doesn't interfere with the. So when I introduce you, we'll come back on and unmute yourselves. Then, okay?
Oh.
This is how it is. We're all coming from different places. It's pretty incredible. So we're going to actually show a short speech by the Reverend himself. And we chose this because it's not so well known, but we found that it's something that everybody can relate to. As Deborah previewed, what is your divine blueprint? So as we listen to his words, let's drop into what he was having to say back then and what the world was like at that time, but also how do we relate to it today? And I want to invite everybody to put that in the chat box. As you're listening to him speak, how does this impact you and what is your blueprint?
I want to ask you a question, and that is, what is in your life's blueprint? This is the most important and crucial period of your lives, for what you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go. And whenever a building is constructed, you usually have an architect who draws a blueprint. And that blueprint serves as the pattern, as the guide, as the model for those who are to build the building. And a building is not well erected without a good, sound, and solid blueprint. And I want to suggest some of the things that should be in your life's blueprint. Number one in your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth, and always feel that your life has ultimate significance. Secondly, in your life's blueprint, you must have as a basic principle the determination to achieve excellence in your various fields of endeavor. You're going to be deciding as the days and the years unfold what you will do in life, what your life's work will be. And once you discover what it will be, set out to do it and to do it well. And I say to you, my young friends, that doors are opening to each of you. Doors of opportunity are opening to each of you that were not open to your mothers and to your fathers. And the great challenge facing you is to be ready to enter these doors as they open. And so I would urge you to study hard, to burn the midnight oil. I would say to you, don't drop out of school, and I understand all of the sociological reasons why we often drop out of school. But I urge you, in spite of your economic plight, in spite of the situation that you are forced to live so often with intolerable conditions, stay in school. And when you discover what you're going to be in life, set out to do it as if God Almighty called you at this particular moment in history to do it. Set out to do a good job, and do that job so well that the living, the dead, or the unborn couldn't do it any better.
I'd like to invite everybody to take a minute, all of you who are in our Zoom room and those of you watching on Facebook, and put into the comments, put into the chat, how does this inspire you? What is your life's blueprint? And I'll save this chat. And those of you on Facebook can read what everybody else is saying. What is your life's blueprint? You know, when he said, my young friends, well, I'm sure at the time he was giving the speech, I guess at a college or graduation, but aren't we all his young friends where he is now and where we are? And his passionate request for us to really tune into what our job is at this time and to do it as though God Almighty has asked us to do that. What's your divine blueprint? What job do you feel called to do at this incredible moment in human history? Healing the racial divide? Remembering people that are less fortunate? Every single one of you are precious cells in the emerging butterfly coming out of the dying caterpillar. Every single one of us, every single one of you. And I love seeing in the chat, to create community, a student learning how to create better peace and understanding within my own family. That is as important as anything. To play healing and powerful music for the spirit, compassion, understanding, acceptance, to shine and reflect each other's shining. To be a freedom fighter, freedom for all, bringing into mainstream the science of unity from the resonance science. Thank you, everybody, for your incredible missions. And this is a great opportunity. And please continue to write in the chat box, because I'm going to bring on a woman that has been doing her role for a long time. I met her when she was 19 years old. She was a budding actress. She came to work for my theater company, worked with my theater company. We were the educational theater company. We did shows in schools. She was an actress. And then we started a camp at Jane Fonda's Ranch in Santa Barbara for 11 years, ran the camp there. And she was one of the beloved camp counselors. One of her students was a woman named Angelina Jolie, but we didn't know her as Angelina Jolie then. We knew her as John Voight's daughter. This is Oshala. And Oshala does amazing work. She is an actress, a dancer, and most of all, a community activist. Do unmute yourself, Oshala.
Okay, I'm muted. Does everybody hear me in the house?
We hear you, dear.
Okay. Well, I am so steeped in Martin Luther King today. Like we're in the middle, we had kids running around, birthday cake, and people, you know, panelists, and just there's a lot of things going on. So I didn't even have time to go home. So I'm just, you know, kind of broadcasting from like a little closet.
Well, I'm going to bring on, tell us a little bit about where you are, because this is our recipient for tonight. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but tell us about where you are, Oshala.
Okay, well, I am you can kind of see behind me, you can see some very cool pants. These are the latest leggings that are coming out of Ghana. They are so cool. Like, look at these. There's like stretchy pants coming out of Ghana. Everything in the MC Arts Gallery and Gift Boutique are handmade, local, from local people, local here in this community, but also throughout the diaspora. So our mission with MC Arts and Culture is to really uplift the communities in the African diaspora for the betterment of the entire humanity. Given the state of Black America and the diaspora around the world, as Black people, and looking at that, we stand on the shoulders of Dr. King. He gave us the mission to continue the work for not only civil rights, but the work of healing the trauma in our communities. And so my work has specifically been in the work of healing, not just healing all people, but of course, because I identify and am a Black woman in America, a lot of my healing of the trauma happens in my community. And one of the ways that I work on bridging communication and establishing relationships with other communities is through art and through our communication with artists, and also social equity and social capital. So if you look here, like we have this amazing, you know, necklace, and we have bracelets from handmade. Everything is like, you know, in here is just an expression of artistry. We did this as a collective. I believe very strongly as we move into a new way of doing things, because it's really about us taking the reins from these oligarchs. Let's be real about it. You know, these people who are trying to control our lives, right? The 99% of it. I have not forgot the Occupy movement and the 99% movement, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's all been about. It's trying to control those on the bottom, whether it's Native American people, whether it's African people, Native Americans stealing the land, bringing Africans over to build the land, bringing indentured servants over. I'm like, who really is gaining from all this? And so it's really about how can we come together and celebrate together, to create art, to continue to dance, not let anybody take our spirit away. And how can we move forward in harmony? And this is what we do through the arts and throughout the throughout the land. So that's my thing.
And tonight's organization that we are supporting is the MC Arts and Culture. And so your contributions are going to go to support Oshala and her amazing artists. And Deborah will put the link in throughout the night. You'll see the link where you can contribute. And I'm just going to briefly, we're going to meet one of her artists in a moment. And because it is so important for us to support artists and musicians, especially now when so many musicians and performing artists cannot be out there performing because clubs, bars, restaurants, festivals are not happening. And so we need to support our artists. And I'm going to the website of the mcartsandculture.com. And these are all the amazing artists and entrepreneurs. And you're going to meet Lumumba in just a moment. But these are all the different artists that are doing work there. And then, you know, as you go in, there's Oshala, there's Ricardo. You're going to meet Ricardo a little bit later on tonight. He's a 80-year-old jazz musician and an amazing equity activist. And all these different artists, this is where we find out about their work, whether it's performing arts or visual arts, and where we can buy their artwork. So it's a really important in supporting communities. This is the one we've chosen as an example. And I'm going to ask you, Oshala, now to introduce your friend Lumumba, who I'm going to bring on to join us. But tell us a little bit about this remarkable man.
Lumumba is truly a remarkable human being. When we talk about the life blueprint, the test, we are often tested. So what happens to us that is terrible define us, or does it refine us? Does it define us, or does it refine us? And Lumumba is a perfect example of some really horrific conditions that some people would say are very horrific. I would say, for me, if I were locked up in a penitentiary for 41 years of my life, that would be really horrific for me. And to be able to work with someone like Lumumba, who that has been his reality, he can tell you a lot better than I have. But what really is so amazing about Lumumba, and what brought us together, was the quality of his artwork, and Scott will pull that up, and then just how everything that he does, every color that he uses, says something about the healing, and it just says something, like, you know, all artists that create. The reality is that we lock up more people in this country than I think we're just second to Saudi Arabia, which is a monarchy. That's the reality, that at this moment, while we are on this call, we have a large percentage of Black men. 1 in 3 Black men in this country are in the prison injustice system. And it's not to say that Black folks are uniquely criminals, you know, because we know a lot of other criminals, right? Criminals come in all forms. A lot of them wear suits. A lot of them poison entire cities with lead. However, who gets locked up is often people who are on the bottom, whether they're Black people or people who are living in Appalachian Mountains, are locked up, and they're often invisible. And when they're there invisible, guards can do anything they want to do to them. So to have someone come out with the level of amazing inspiration that Lumumba has, for me to be able to say he is literally like my right hand in terms of the work that is needed to be done at the Arts Gallery as part of our collective. Amazing human being, just full of heart, full of love. It's just, I mean, his story makes me really want to cry, because it's just so deep. And yeah, I'm just so glad that he is, that he's still here, that he's still alive, and that he is with us, and that he's able to share his story, and share his work.
Well, welcome, Lumumba. Welcome to our show. And, you know, tell us, you know, what would you like for us to know about your life experience? Maybe what you've seen tonight, the Martin Luther King video, how it's inspired you, and how your artwork has kept you moving forward.
It hasn't been easy, Scott. Can you imagine yourself being in a cell for 40 years and 9 months?
No.
That's 4 decades plus, almost. And you can only imagine what I've seen in prison, because I went to prison January 10th, 1978. I was convicted on June 23rd, 1977. Come March of this year, within about 2 months, I will be released from parole all the way. It will be, that whole boulder will be lifted off of my shoulders. They're just detaching me from the prison system, period. I don't know how that's gonna feel when that day comes, but I sure hope it feels as good as it felt when they told me, we're gonna let you go home after all these years. You shouldn't have been here after all these years, that long. Surviving in prison is one thing. When you've seen brutal attacks, when you've seen and held a person die in your arms in the middle of a riot over and over again, you think that it might do something to your psychic after a while. You think that it might do something to your heart after a while. Will it make you bitter? Will it make you hate towards the system that locked you up? I felt all of that. I felt all of that. And then finally, after all these years, I was transferred from one prison to another to San Quentin to serve out my last couple of years there. And believe me, I had no righteous control where I can say I got my emotions in check. I didn't know how to hold my emotions in check. After being, you can say I've been traumatized, I don't know how many times in prison from what I've seen and experienced. How do you live with trauma? Past trauma, starting from shock trauma. And you see a lot of shock in prison. Believe me, it's a whole lot. 4 decades, you see a lot. But I've learned to control my emotions. I know what it feels like when you get angered. You can feel your shoulders get tense, your jaws get tense, your palms start sweating. I've learned to control all of that. But throughout that whole struggle, one thing that I did from day one almost, when I first got to prison, one of my young girlfriends sent me some drawing tablets, sent me some color pencils and markers. That's when I started. That was in 1978. That's when I started. And even then, prison was crazy. Racial riots. Drug riots wasn't even thought of. It was just mostly racial riots in California prisons. But I kept sketching because a lot of people walking around with this, you see the tattoos on their bodies, and that amazed me. I said, I got to do that art. So I started doing block letters. And from then on, I kept on sketching until people wanted tattoo patterns on their bodies. And then I started learning how to tattoo people. But when HIV came into effect, that's when I said, no more tacking for me. I don't want to take that chance. But as I grew in prison, Folsom Prison in particular had what you call a hobby shop where you can learn how to cut diamonds, do paintings, leather. It was a beautiful shop. And I was a youngster then. And older guys would say, look, youngster, I know you want a lot to learn, but don't be wasting my time. If you're going to be here every day. Don't waste my time. And I heard that. I heard that clearly because there was a solid bond of unity throughout that era. And it felt good. And as I went along, I did learn how to make patterns to make jewelry with. I did learn how to carve. I do know how to do. Prison has taught me so much that I took advantage of it. I never forgot how many trades I didn't accomplish over the 40 years.
Well, you've accomplished a lot now, and I'm going to go to the art gallery. And again,
Yes,
this is the art gallery that we are supporting tonight, that you are supporting, everybody. And look at Lumumba's amazing, beautiful work that he does now. And very diverse, incredible use of color and incredible designs. And Lumumba, it's one of those ones where I can't pause it the way that you've got it. It keeps going. But I'm going to stop on this one and just keep going back to it because it's so powerful. And I think you said this is, you call it Atlas Carrying the Earth?
Yes, Atlas at Work.
Atlas. And tell us how that, I mean, I'm sure that represents some part of your heart and soul, yeah?
It represents your internal strength. That's one thing. And I've developed that over the years because I didn't have no choice. You have to be strong when you're in an encaged society. There has to be no signs of weakness. I mean, physically, mentally, emotionally. And I built that every day. And as time went by, it felt like I was carrying a heavy load that I knew I had to carry. And I just started sketching that out day by day. And it turned out to be Atlas at Work, because I felt in my future, I'm gonna do exactly what Atlas done, the God Atlas, putting planets in place, but I want to put programs in place along with the Charlotte MC Arts and Culture, because I'm a member of that. And when you speak of Martin Luther King, oh, that man, one thing that I do love about him is that throughout the 60s and the 50s, Black people needed a savior. They needed to stay in contact with the highest powers. They came to church. I don't know how powerful that man was through that era because I was a young kid then. But my mama and them, they loved Martin Luther King. And one thing that I love about him as well is that He knew what the values of unity meant. He knew that sometimes unity just cannot be broken when you got the right leadership. And when they came to him, it was in the church. This man is in the presence of God. If he wasn't getting his instructions from God, then he had to be getting it from his ancestors and their ancestral spirits and knowledge. That's why I felt so good about Martin. Even though today it's hard for me to go to churches and hear certain people because their leadership is sometimes tainted and is sometimes powerful. Martin was never like that. People gave their life and was willing to continue to give their life because he brought the right message to them. Yes, Martin Luther King, he was one indeed a motivator to me as I learned more and more, because everywhere he went, he knew how to get in the church and unify people and put them out there in God's presence and hope that we'll get victories. I don't want to continue on. I can go on and on and on. A lot of my artwork is what I call conversation pieces. I don't just, you're not going to just sit there and look at my picture and say, oh, that's nice. It's going to make you think.
That's right.
It's going to make you feel something. I wish that Shala can take you to one painting on the wall that I would love for you guys to see tonight. It's at the gallery right now, but I know we're in the middle of a meeting, but it's called We Are Not Targets.
Is it actually in the
it's in the gallery on the wall. It's not in my profile right there.
Oh, it's not on. Okay. All right.
No, not that one, but it's in the gallery. It's those are just a few of my pictures, but the gallery has plenty more in there. If Shala had time, I would love for you guys to see that picture, because one thing that I do want to do is stop this violence out here. I'm in East Oakland. I mean, it's almost like the murder capital of California right now. This murder is almost every other day out here. So I want to get the United Players and other people that speaks out against gun violence and do something about this madness out here.
Absolutely. So here's what we'll do. Two things, because I think people want more Lumumba. Oshala, go ahead and please take a photo, and I will come back to Oshala and either have her showing it live with her camera or have her take a photo so we can see that picture. And last night, we did a 2-hour edition of the Straight Talk Show with Lumumba and Oshala and Cindy Acker. And so you can go back and watch that. We'll put the link where you can see our Straight Talk Show. Is a very powerful 2 hours where we can really go deeper into hearing Lumumba's story, as well as hearing from Oshala and Cindy, and a couple of other very powerful community leaders. So I want to really encourage everybody, go and watch the Straight Talk Show. You can find it on Facebook right away by going to Love Coach Academy page, to the videos. We'll also put that link in. And Lumumba, thank you so much for being on our show. And I definitely would love to do another full show with you and Oshala soon.
Of course, anytime, just call me.
All right, God bless you, sir. All right, well, luckily we've got some soulful music to just kind of drop into after what we've just seen. And to introduce that, here's Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And how powerful. Just thank you so much, everyone so far that has shared. And yes, it's great to go into music with Jenya Carter. I would say she's a demonstration of the power of art, which we've just been sharing here, and the power of her passion. She's only 20 years old. And she's beginning her music career, but incredible musician. She's developing her voice and her style. She's done several songs on streaming platforms. She's traveled a lot, done a lot of performances, and we're really happy to showcase her here tonight. Jenya Carter.
Thank you very much, Deborah. I really appreciate that. The introduction, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here with all of you this evening. This show in particular is, I think, very powerful. I think coming at a very important time for everybody in regards to where this last year has taken us, the way it's kind of broken us down and built us back up. So I'm going to sing a song called Before You Go by Lewis Capaldi. This song is, I think it's beautiful. It, to me, speaks to the process of feeling broken down, and those of us who've had the moments of feeling out of touch or left behind or a little bit lost, and that realization that, you know, sometimes we have to take that moment to check in on one another and make sure we're okay, and to take care of one another regardless of status or race, etc. I will be performing later on in the show with something a bit more uplifting, but this song, for me personally, speaks to kind of more of the trials and tribulations of the past year, something that I can relate to, and hopefully will bring a message or some peace to you guys out there listening and watching. Is this level, can you guys hear the guitar okay? Okay, I see some heads nodding, so I'll get into it. I fell by the wayside like everyone else. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, but I was just kidding myself. Not every moment I start to replace, 'cause now that you're gone, all I hear are the words that I needed to say. When you hurt under the surface, like troubled waters running cold. Well, time will heal, but this won't. So before you go, was there something I could have said to make your heart beat better? If only I'd have known you had a storm to weather. So before you go, was there something I could have done to make it all stop hurting? It kills me how your mind can make you feel so worthless. So was never the right time. Whenever you called, I went little by little until there was nothing at all. Not every moment I start to replace, 'cause now that you're gone, all I can think about is seeing that look on your face. When you hurt under the surface, like troubled waters running cold. Well, time will heal, but this won't. So before you go, was there something I could have said to make your heart beat better? If only I'd have known you had this storm to weather. So before you go, was there something I could have done to make it all stop hurting? Kills me how your mind can make you feel so worthless. So before you go, would we be better off by now if I had just let my walls come down? Maybe I guess we'll never know. You know. So before you go, was there something I could have said to make your heart beat better? If only I'd have known you had the storm to weather. So before you go, was there something I could have done to make it all stop hurting? It kills me how your mind can make you feel so worthless. So So before you go. And that is Before You Go by Louis Capaldi.
People are applauding. They're all muted, but they're applauding.
Thank you. Thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, Xenia, it's so wonderful to have you with us. And luckily, she's going to come back and do another number. But to support her and to find out more about Xenia, she's on Instagram at Xenia Carter. It's spelled Jenyacarter, Xenia Carter. She's also on Facebook at Xenia Carter Music. She's on YouTube at Xenia Carter. And for more information, you can email her at xenia00@gmail.com. And it's so special to have you, you know, right after having Lumumba, who's had a longer life and a hard life. And here you are coming on with such beautiful music and such soulful.
Thank you.
And I'm just appreciating the juxtaposition between you and Lumumba, two very beautiful, soulful beings, blessing us with your presence and with your art tonight.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to add him to the picture for a minute.
Yeah, please.
Because look at these two beautiful souls at different stages of life, still providing art and just, yeah, you're both very, very beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. It means a lot. I really appreciate it.
And we will hear more from her a little bit later on. All right. Well, you know, we really want to encourage everybody to continue to come and join our tribe. Join the Global Peace Tribe. So if you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on one of our broadcast partners, please go to globalpeacetribe.com and register so that we can follow up with you, because we've got a lot of exciting things we're doing. In addition to Saturday Night Live, we're launching some really exciting new programs. So please join us. I want to thank Jay Mayer and Light Touch for providing all of our videos that you see tonight and every week. Thank you very much. I'm now going to bring on two very special people that are definitely community leaders. This is Cindy Acker, who I've just been getting to know this last few weeks. And you're going to be seeing a fair amount of Cindy tonight. And hopefully tomorrow, her play, which we'll talk about in a little bit. She's written an extraordinary play, which we'll talk about. But I'm going to also bring on the person that she's going to be talking with. And this is Reverend Tim Lytle. And he is the Reverend for the Senior Minister for Unity of Marin. So as you're looking at both of them, I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. Cindy is a playwright and a director and an educator. She's a 5-time award-winning educator. She's sung with the Oakland Interfaith Gospel Choir, Glide Ensemble, Unity in Marin, MCC Worship, and the Praise Choir of San Francisco. She is, as you're about to see, a very impassioned keynote speaker and a race-conscious educator. And that's where she's going to be putting her attention tonight. Reverend Tim Lytle is the Senior Minister of Unity of Marin. It's north of San Francisco. He serves on the board for Unity Worldwide Ministries. He's a board certified professional chaplain, and he has studied many different spiritual paths. He's worked with community rights of workers, immigrants, and minorities. So I want to welcome both of you to our show. And Cindy, tell us a little bit about the educational work you've been doing and your collaboration with Reverend Tim and his church and his congregation.
Sure. Well, I was asked by Reverend Tim if I would consider chatting out how to assist the community with some race conscious training. And so we talked about that for a little while, trying to design what was the best path to go. And I'd been doing race consciousness town halls for international Montessori schools after COVID and all of the unrest that had come out of that. And the one thing that I discovered was that people really needed a safe place to be able to learn. There was so much information that many people just didn't know. And they needed a safe place to be able to say exactly where they were feeling in the moment. And I think that that's so important so that you can start to learn how to do your work and walk your walk. And so we chatted about how to do that in a forum, and started that on Wednesday nights and came up with the title Getting Real with Race. And we've covered a number of different topics, and it was interesting because Tim has been incredibly vulnerable there, and he can talk about that, and saying that this is also his work, that he's not trying to teach people what to do. He's also doing the work along with everybody else. And so we've covered a number of topics that are not so easy. I took everyone through a long trajectory of history about race and where race began, and that it is a human construct, and that people actually don't belong to races if they are following what is true, true science. And that part, I think, took a little while for everyone to gather. And I think the main point that I'm hoping that people can start to understand is that if we dismantle that construction of race, and we look at the story underneath it, that underpins it, that with that story, so many things have been allowed. Once people got put into race categories, and some of them were subhuman or considered to be subhuman, it then gave license to have slavery, and to then get other sociologists and scientists on board to start to teach these notions about race that are actually not true, allowed it to continue. And so those were some of the things that we started to look at, and that I was hoping that we would be able to see that if we can deconstruct that, then we can start to look at human beings as people. We can look at each other, we can understand from a heart perspective who we are as human beings, and start to uncover our own biases, our own prejudices, and the mental models that we create, that we put people into and expect them to live up to. And that when we create those mental models, that we then disenfranchise people, we other them, and that we have a way to be able to move up and past that, and that we can't go back, that it's been such a cycle that we have allowed ourselves to be in as human beings, and that now we have the ability to keep working through it. So that's been the focal point of what we've been doing in our work. And Tim, you can say more, but it's been hard work, yeah. Heart work that is hard work.
It's good work. And I mean, I've been involved in working with marginalized communities and working with workers' rights and immigration rights and so forth. But this class that Cindy is leading us in is really helping me to go much more deeply into some of that embedded, enculturated, programmed racism. And I believe that all of us have some biases, some prejudices. I don't think it belongs to just one political party. I believe that we can find it in churches and we can find it in organizations. And like Martin Luther King Jr. was saying, that people feel like, oh, they're really moving towards equality because they have one Black person or something. And our church, this is a process for us to get real with what's really going on inside of us. And as Scott mentioned, I'm also on the board for Unity Worldwide Ministries. It's an international movement. And we're doing this work internationally. We're doing it with our board. We're doing it with our leadership and talking with Black ministers and getting real with this. And you're right, it's not always uncomfortable, but I believe that growth is worth the journey. Growth is worth facing what's going on inside so that I can be authentic, so that I can be real, so that I can connect with others. And so this class is helping me and others to face some of our blind spots, our assumptions, to do that really good work so that we can be real and not, I was reading Martin Luther King Jr. talking about the importance of creating tension, nonviolent, but tension within us so that we can begin to uproot racism, uproot prejudice, and come into the light of day. And so this class creates some of that internal tension. It creates some cognitive dissonance. That's not always pleasant, but it helps us to get real with what is happening. And so I want to thank Cindy for leading that. We had an amazing prayer vigil service here to honor those who had been killed, violence, those Black people who had been murdered, George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and others, and to speak their names. So this is good work, and it's important work for us to do in the church, in nonprofits, so that we can live what we say, so that we can be real about how to live as a beloved community.
Thank you, Reverend Tim.
Cindy, you have other things?
Your internet's a little bit wonky, to be honest. So we're getting most of what you're saying, but I'm actually gonna remove you and focus on Cindy because her internet is real.
That's
strong.
great.
And I want her to tell us about tomorrow, what we're doing, what's going on tomorrow. But thank you very much, Reverend Tim, for your leadership.
Thank you. Blessings. Thank you.
Hi, Cindy. So tomorrow we are hosting this wonderful play that you've created that is actually going to be a video recording. And so could you tell us a little bit about the inspiration, a little bit about what's going to take place tomorrow, and then I'm going to show the clip, the video clip. And
Sure.
We'll show two clips today. I'm going to start with the Fleming clip after you introduce it.
Okay. So I started writing a play. My school, I consider my school a social justice school, and I do a lot of training for schools about how to be a social justice school. And so I began working on a play because I wanted the students to be able to understand about the beginnings of education. And I wanted teachers to be able to learn that also, that education actually began as something that was disenfranchising because it was only for people who were male and white, and people of color couldn't learn how to read or write legally, and that the colonization has happened because of education. And so I started to go back, how far could I go back in telling this story? And I decided that I wanted to spring people from the information about when people of color were allowed to read and write and schools started to come up but were segregated, and the disenfranchisement that happened from that. So I started to write and research. And as I started to look at the court cases that came up, that Brown versus the Board of Education was the culmination of many different court cases that the NAACP had been championing and losing fight after fight. They were losing each case until they finally got to Brown. And so as I was writing, a woman came to me. Her name is Deborah Warren, and she is the granddaughter of Supreme Court Justice Earl Warren, the former Supreme Court Justice. And she asked me if I would like to have his memoirs to help inform my work. And I said yes, and I went back and I decided to extend the information that I was writing and to really dig deeper in some of the history and the characters. And I came to discover the importance of allies. I mean, I've known that, but I started to see that there were people who were witnesses and people who were the plaintiffs who wanted to end segregation and who put their lives on the line in order to do it. And so it wasn't just that there were people going to court. It was really that people were risking their lives in order for this to happen. And I think people need to hold that. We need to hold the footprints that have happened before us, that have paved the way for other freedoms and for other rights and for other justices that needed to be made. And so, so we performed the play once, and then a number of cities asked if we would bring it to their city in March. We were preparing for April, and then COVID happened, and so we stopped. And someone suggested that we try to put the play outside with people in cars and sound coming in and project people, put a stage in front of a wall and project something up. And we couldn't quite sort out the funding for that. And so in the meantime, we started to work on a Zoom production. And when that happened, I recast, and I recast wide. And so we ended up with actors from New York and Atlanta and Los Angeles, everywhere. And it became more difficult for them to be able to meet because we had time zone issues, but they were so committed to the purpose of the play and to the words that were there. And there were some actors who have said that it's the best work that they have ever done. And so we attempted to figure out how could we have it on Zoom, but have it not feel so much like it was Zoom. And then we ended up with a lighting engineer who started to help us, and a technical assistant who started to help us, and an Emmy Award winning editor. And so it's become so much more, and has such a feel. And from before the clips, it has transformed even since then. So now we've added music and a number of other things to it, which has been incredible, and a number of musicians who have offered their music to be added to the play. And so it's going to stream in this format for the first time tomorrow. And we're
going to see a clip in a moment. I apologize for interrupting. Yeah. We're going to see a clip in a moment, but here is where people can register. They go to Unity in Marin, and it's called Words That Make a Difference, Brown versus Board of Education. And they just come here, come to this link. Deborah's putting the link into the chat box, and we'll put it into Facebook. And this is where people can register. If it's too long a link for you out there in Facebook land, if you just go to unityinmarin.org and then go to the events section, you'll find it. And that's where people can register. Yeah. Tell us about the clip we're about to see.
So this is the Silas clip?
Yes.
Okay. This is Silas Fleming, who was one of the plaintiffs in the case. He was approached by the NAACP to be a plaintiff. And at this point in the clip, he is saying to the judges that he really wants to be able to explain to them why he decided to be a plaintiff in the case and to go up against the Board of Education.
Okay, here we go.
You want to tell the court why you joined this lawsuit? That's right.
All right. Go ahead and tell it.
Well, it wasn't for the sake of no hot dog. And it wasn't to cast any insinuations that our teachers are not capable of teaching our children, because they are supreme, extremely intelligent, and capable of teaching my kids, white kids, or Black kids. But my point is that not only are I and my children craving light, the entire colored race is craving light. And the only way to get that light is to bring our children up together in their infancy. And they come up together.
Oof. Wow. So it's tomorrow from 1 p.m. until about 3:30. There'll be a discussion afterwards and a conversation afterwards. Is there anything else, Cindy, you'd like for us to know about tomorrow's events?
Well, let me say that the two actors were Will Taylor and Gary Mason. And there is a Q&A after the play with myself and with a friend of mine. His name is Itoko Garcia, and Dr. Garcia and I both got our doctorates at UC Berkeley together. And we ended up meeting back up because the play talked about the fact that segregation continues as we speak. And he was brought in as superintendent in Marin County because the city of Sausalito was taken to court by the state of California, because their schools were still segregated and it was being wraps. And so Dr. Garcia is a part of the work to desegregate the city of Sausalito. And he is hoping to have a model so that other schools who are also still segregated, and there are many, will start to bring some fairness and justice to the children that are serving them. So he will be a part of it. And someone from the NAACP is also going to be a part of the Q&A. And if anyone wants to look at some of the other actors and the background of the play, there's a typo in the Unity information, but if you go to the website is words-that-made the difference, brownvboard.org. That is the play's website, and it will also eventually link you to Unity to register, but it will give you other information about the play, about the actors, and some information about segregation.
So Cindy, yeah, definitely give us, put that in the chat box, and I will pull it up a little bit later. We're gonna come back and take a look at a second scene a little bit later in the show tonight, and I'll go to that page. We'll take a look at that page together in a little while, all right? Thank you so much, Reverend Tim. Thank you, Cindy. We're gonna hear from Cindy a little bit later. And now to go to our next piece, I'm turning it back over to my partner, Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. How powerful. And now we get again to go into art, which is such a powerful theme for this show. Marshall Jones is a performance artist and spoken word poet. After exploring movement practices and researching sound, he's discovered that to change your life, you have to change your voice. So he developed Mind Body Speak, which is a unique approach to communication, going beyond the words to address the power hidden in the voice. And he offers his voice to help you find the way back to yours. Thank you, Marshall. I turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, Deborah. Good evening, everyone. I mean, there's a lot that's been said, and it's a pretty heavy evening, right? Just looking at all the different angles of what we're dealing with currently as it relates to what has been dealt with in the past, and trying to find the chasm between the two to see what's different, but also to see what can be different. And to avoid belaboring the point, I just want to speak on these two pieces that I have for you tonight. So the first one, actually, I was thinking, what do I want to share? And we talked about Dr. Martin Luther King, and they're the words that he said, but the power, was in the way he said those words, the delivery in his voice. And when we think about being an instrument of change, it's to celebrate the musicians who have sang thus far and have given us their voices. Being an instrument is not only limited to the guitars and the flutes and the vocalizations through singing, but it is also the instrumentation of us. So this first piece is called Within These Walls. Within these walls, you can hear the whispers, the woodwind of a djembe prayer and a dombek song, palm slap the tap-tap of the tempo, this divine pulse of God. This metronome, semitone, dollar note, quarter song, ricocheting out of each corner across space and time, this space between rhythm and sound, resounding louder than silence, quiet, like storm, like rumble, an earthquake, in the form of a circle, a ring of fire we ignite, inspired like upright bass playing lines. There's something about holding the ground this close to our souls, strumming the blues until the color changes and our hearts harp like angel song, angel wings for the light flight. Tonight, we stand in aerial suspension, lessons unlocked with piano keys. What key signature is written across your spine? What genius of the cosmos has been composed and conducted? You see, whether harmonic or electronic, it is energy that binds us, connects us like guitar chords to strings, or vocal cords to strings, or violins to strings. There is a reason we hold them to our throats and play with the passion and the pride and the grievance of it all. And it's carried by the wind and harnessed by a cloud, the pitter-patter of the rain as a storm crashes down and lightning strikes in the mind of a child who will never sight read, for she was born blind, but she can see more with one eye open like prayer. We can't see God with both eyes open. Our ears are hollowed holes for echoes to reverberate into the chasms of our minds. The wizardry of an aborigine and his didgeridoo, or rocks that roll, or metal that is heavy like steel drums from Trinidad and Tobago. The waves go shore to shore and bring consciousness between islands, countries, and continents. So with confidence, we lift every voice and we sing, we stand on our feet and we dance. We crescendo until we fingerpick the melody with fine hair of flesh, the magnetic pull of goose skin before the beauty and the awe and the majesty of an instrument in the hand of a magician. We are folklore and legend. We are truth, we are acoustic, beautiful and perfect, pitch and cadence and fifths, symphony and breath. So yes, listen. Within these walls, listen, because the music never stops playing.
Oof, thank you.
So for the second piece, I want to look forward. And this piece was about a conversation I had with Purpose. And so I'm just going to jump right in there. I walked up to Purpose and said, hey, look at what we've made. Purpose said, okay, I have a moment. Look, The distance between us hasn't changed. Oceans still separate shores. Lakes lay wide, rivers stretch long. A mile is still a mile, and meters here. 1 minute has not added a single second, but look at what we've made. And Purpose said, okay. We built better ships, better cars, better planes. We built better ships, relationships, partnerships, pushing each other to new limits. We've become faster, better, and today we get better, faster. Purpose looked at me and said, son, my name comes from a word that means proposal. What do you propose? Propose. Look at what do you propose? Well, we propose to connect. Connect. Look, these aren't 56K kisses on the cheeks. We are dialed up. Look how we zoomed. We have the bandwidth to make the call, and we don't have to call collect. Look, the whole world is here. The whole world is in one chain now. The distance between us hasn't changed, but we have. You have? Look at us. How thick the cloud is with ideas, with a future we can pull out of thin air. I mean, commerce and community are cousins who actually want to like each other. We provide quality products for our lives and a quality of life for the providers, all of them. And Purpose looked at me and said, is that it? Is that what this is? We provide for everyone the best that we can. And Purpose said, I'm gonna need you to show me. And walked off. Purpose never stays too long to talk. If you invite it over, it won't put its coat down or take its shoes off. Purpose will never get comfortable. Purpose will not clap for us. Tell us we did a good job. In fact, by the time we can think of anything we've done, Purpose is already out the door toward what we are doing. So look at what we've made. Look long, look hard, and know that no matter what we propose, Purpose will always look and say, oh yeah, show me. And what we make of that will be up to us.
Thank you, Marshall. And yeah, let's everybody think again, our purpose, our divine blueprint. It's the message, it's the question for us to be answering. You can train with this incredible man. He has the Mind, Body, Speak system. You can go to mindbodyspeak.com, or you can email him, coach@mindbodyspeak.com, where he explores how to use the frequency of trust, how to de-escalate confrontation, how to increase tonal integrity, and more, all with the power of your voice. And he does one-on-one as well as group coaching. So, wow. Anything you want to add to that, Marshall?
I appreciate the way you landed that plane, Scott. Thank you.
All right. Well, God bless you. Thank you for being on the show, and we hope you come back again. I want to quickly go to the proper website that Cindy told us about. One of the longer websites, Words That Made the Difference, Brown versus the Board of Education. And yeah, this is a powerful, powerful website with a lot of information. And right away, you can see right here is where you can then register for the show that's happening tomorrow. So this is actually the proper place to go to register. This takes you into more details about tomorrow's show from 1 o'clock on. And then if you click again, you'll see that that's where you can register. You put in your phone number, they send a code, and we take it from there. So this is really important. I really want to encourage everybody to be with us. I'm going to actually be personally kind of running the behind the scenes webinar. So I'm looking forward to seeing the show. I also want to thank the people that have started to donate to the MC Arts and Culture. I want to thank Paul Sterling, one of our speakers that we're going to hear from tonight. I want to thank Joni de Gabrielle. I want to thank Christy Michaels. God bless you, Christy. Christy does so much to make everything happen. I want to thank Jan Kaplan, our associate producer. I want to thank Celestine Starr, one of our popular speakers and teachers. And please want to encourage everybody, and of course, all of those who are donating anonymously. There's some guy named Anonymous or a woman named Anonymous who's very generous. So thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Anonymous, whoever you might be. And for those of you who want to donate and want to have your name on, please, I love sharing our friends that are generous and support, and any support is helpful. $5, $50, $500, whatever you can afford to really help support our artists. It's so important. Thank you. And as some of you might be wanting to reach out and support, it's all about gratitude. And so here's another Jay light touch video all about the power of gratitude. And as we tune in and watch, let's be grateful. Thank you, Jay, for these wonderful videos. Thank you, Great Spirit, for all that we have to be grateful for. We are very, very blessed. One of the things that I'm blessed is to be able to be hosting and meeting amazing people. And last week on Sunday, I was hosting a Fantuzzi online rainbow concert. And for the very first time, I saw this incredible gentleman, Sri Kala. He performed. And right away I said, hey, and ironically, he didn't know me, I didn't know him. What he was doing was dedicated to Martin Luther King. So it was one of those wonderful divine appointments, as Jay would say. And so we're blessed to have Sri Kala with us. And since he's new to the show, I am going to introduce him a little bit, tell you a little bit about him. He got his name, Sri Kala, after living as a celibate monk for 7 years in the Bhakti tradition, studying the science of self-realization. With almost 2 decades of inner searching, he has collected his own unique tools for his journey. Sri Kala has a very deep connection to the oscillations of sound vibration through mantra, music meditation, and even sound healing frequencies. Through his studies and his devotion to understanding sound healing, he has developed the ability to hear and feel energy frequencies on the subtle platform and recreate them with his voice to promote healing from the mind and for the body. As a songwriter and musician, Sri Kala sees art as a way to collect fragmented parts of the self and bring them into creative expression for the healing of the individual and the audience. What a blessing to have you with us, Sri Kala.
Yeah, great to be here, great to be here. An honor to be here. Yes, you're such a good host. It's amazing. You could give like workshops on how to host. It's in high demand right now.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yes. It's great to be here, and Scott said it so well. So I would like to just start and dive right into the music, and then we'll speak as the music goes on. What this is a sound healing. It's the offering of love. It's an offering of presence. It's I'm as the bio stated, I'm able to really tap into the heart and really tap into the frequencies that are around me, the frequencies that you're feeling, frequencies that I'm feeling, in service to healing, expansion, creative opening, And so as I take this journey with you, really let yourself dance, let yourself meditate with this, let yourself just take in the vibes that are here for you. So with this, we're tuning into the spirit of Martin Luther King right now. And I've always had a pretty strong relationship with Martin Luther King. And that is because my birthday is 3 days after his. And this year, my birthday falls on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And so he's always been following me. He's always been following me. He's always been with me. As a child, my mom had a picture of Martin Luther King. My parents had a picture of Martin Luther King on top of the living room TV. So no matter what we were watching, his face was always up there. And so I'm feeling blessed for that transmission that came from the parents. And when we think about Martin Luther King, we think about, if you ask anyone right now, what do you think about when you hear Dr. King's name? And of course you will hear, I Have a Dream, his epic speech. Such an epic speech. Martin Luther King, he had a brilliant dream. He had a large dream. It wasn't just a regular dream. It was an out-of-this-world dream. So I want you to focus right now. Everyone watching right now, I want you to focus. What is your out-of-this-world dream? What is your large vision in service to the world, in service to the highest well-being of all right now? And Dr. King, he held this dream. Not only did he hold this dream, but he also used this dream to fuel him, to give him energy. And he stated that even in difficult times, it's important to him to hold this dream as a reality. And so I invite you to type into the chat right now, wherever you are, Facebook, Zoom, type into the chat your large dream. What is your large dream right now? Let me feel it. Let me taste it. And as you type into the chat, I'm going to open up the chat right now just so I can see what's coming through. And as you type into the chat, the tones that I'm making will light that up. It'll be a prayer to infuse into your desire, to infuse into your dreams and anchor it deeper into reality. Keep those dreams coming. What does it feel like? What does it taste like? Yes, peace in everyone's heart. I see. Oh, the dreams are moving so fast I can't even read them. And so, as I was meditating on Martin Luther King's dream, something new came through. Something new came through. I realized that he didn't just have a dream. He had a very detailed dream. It wasn't just like, yeah, I want all of us to get together. No, it was, I see the mountains of the Alleghenies. You know, he really went into a deep detail. For example, that one day, even in the state of Mississippi, the state of sweltering heat of injustice, the sweltering heat of oppression will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. That one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. Very detailed. He's seeing it. He's feeling it. He's giving it color for us. Let freedom ring from the heightened Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. So when you think about your dream right now, your dream that you placed in the chat, how detailed is it right now? How detailed is it? Are you bringing your visuals in? Are you bringing your vibe in? So with your dream, now begin to type into the chat, what is the details of that dream? How does it look? How does it feel? My dream is to win a Grammy. I would like to win a Grammy. And in that winning of the Grammy, I would like to bring this healing frequency all over the world. That one sound that I make will be able to open hearts. And so this next frequency is that sound to light up your dream, to bring your dream into a next frequency. But first, let's bring in some bass for you guys. And this sound is to light up your dreams right now. This sound is to light up your desires so you can feel the fire, the same wave that Martin Luther King was surfing right now. He was surfing his ability to dream in a detailed way with faith and desire. This one's for you. Feel your dream. I had a 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 dream. Yeah, I had a dream. I had a dream. Yeah, yeah. I had a dream. I had a dream. Yeah, I had a dream. I had a dream. Can you feel your dream right now? I had a dream. I had a dream. And in the feeling of your dream, I invite you. I invite you to feel it like it is here now. Feel it like it is existing right here in this moment. Can you bring your gratitude to experiencing your dream right here, right now? I had a dream. Yeah, yeah. I had a dream. I had a dream. And one more sound to anchoring this frequency. had a dream. Yeah, yeah. I had a dream. I had a dream. Yeah, I had a dream. This last sound is for your dream here now, anchored into reality, in service of every living being on this planet, in service to our beautiful planet Earth, in service to your heart, your sadness, your joys, your suffering, your excitements, your thriving. This sound is for the ever-increasing well-being that is here.
Let's just all have a minute of silence, of really resonating with the dream and this beautiful series of vibrations that Sri Kala has created for us. Thank you so much. Wow. I'm so grateful that you're here. Sri Kala, tell us a little bit more. Here's your website.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about how people can hear more of your music and just get more of your medicine.
Yeah, I think that the best way is to head over to my website. This is on my website I have all my music, all the events that I'm doing. And the best thing is I would love for you to sign my mailing list. As you can see on the bottom there, it says, let me share with you. And there's so much pouring through. There's so much to share with you. And at this time, we will respect your mailing list. So we will respect your email. And sign the email list. That's where all the nectar is. We're doing a lot of music, a lot of events. The next most potent event is happening January 21st to the 23rd with my wife. We do coaching together, and I bring a lot of this healing vibe. I bring a lot of this sound vibe, and my wife is a coach, so she coaches people how to make money, 6 figures, 7 figures, anybody that is focused on bringing more love and well-being to the planet. And we have this 3-day retreat. It's called FUCK, Faking It. I didn't want to say that. I'm not sure if this is the PG event or Fuck Faking It is the name of the event. And it's all about coming into your authenticity, coming into your truth. Like exactly who you are is perfect. And who you are is a space where you can make as much money as you want, as much money as you need in service to the planet, in service to the world. And this is the event happening January 21st to the 23rd. Sign my mailing list, check out my website. Everything is there. All the love is there. So grateful to be here with you, Scott.
Oh, thank you so much. Happy birthday.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you.
And may this next cycle around the sun bring you, your wife, your family, maximum grace. And
yes,
may your beautiful vibrations reach as many as possible. And I sure hope we'll see you on the show again.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for having me. Great to circle up with all the masters here. Blessings, blessings.
Thank you so much. Wow. What a show, huh? What an amazing collection of incredible human beings. It's just, I feel so blessed. Wow. So this is where we have our Global Peace Tribe announcements. And We thank our sponsors. We thank our broadcast partners. Certainly, most of all, we want to thank all of you who are watching. And again, you can still come into our Zoom room. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com. My dog is wanting attention. So that's the sounds that you hear below me. Please do join us. For those of you watching on Facebook, globalpeacetribe.com, register and come be with us. It's really, we're building something very special here. And we also really want to thank our broadcast partners, as you're about to see in this video. And again, thank you, Jay Mayer and Light Touch, for all the support you give us, including these videos. We want to thank all of our broadcast partners that are helping us to reach tens of thousands of people with every one of our shows. And that definitely starts with Unify. Right now, so many of you are watching us via Facebook on Unify. So thank you. We really want to thank John and Summer Raymer and the Sign Network, which helps get us out to hundreds of Facebook groups and pages. And of course, we want to thank Jay Mayer and Light Touch. Our primary sponsor, Jay is our executive producer. A lot of you are watching us on New Reality's YouTube channel. That's Alan Steinfeld, long-term buddy of mine. And of course, we originate on Love Coach Academy. That's my organization. And check out Love Coach Academy and all the different shows we provide free of charge all week long. Finally, we want to thank our other broadcast partners, starting with Humanity's team, and also appreciating Earth Dance Global, Portal to Ascension, the Disclosure Fest, Global Days of Unity, Earth Walk, and New Earth One. Thank you, everybody. Who was that guy? And I also want to thank Unity in Marin. They are our sponsor tonight. And so thank you very much for sponsoring the show, helping to sponsor the show, and helping to bring Cindy's very valuable work to the world. And really want to encourage everybody again to please come tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock and check out the amazing webinar that's going on where we can see words that make a difference, Brown versus the Board of Education. And now for a few more announcements, my partner, Deborah Giusti.
Thank you, Scott. And I want to thank you from my heart as well for your donations when you register. They really make a difference to us producing a quality show each week and growing it as we're growing it. And speaking of growing it, we'd love help growing this because this is really medicine that should get out to the world, and it does now. But we really want to get out there a big way. So if you have some superpowers in marketing in all kinds of ways, we'd love to hear from you because we'd like to expand our team and get some support around some marketing out there on social media or any creative ways. And if you'd like to do that, you can go to our globalpeacetribe.com and my email's there, or I'll post in the chat room and just connect with me and we'll see what we can do. Also, always looking for sponsors that can really help us create a show and move forward, or anyone that wants to advertise to this type of incredible high consciousness, high vibe audience all around the world. So sponsors and advertisers. Again, I'm going to put my connection in the chat room, but you can go to globalpeacetribe.com and you'll see my email address there. And you can just email me, Deborah@wishingwellprod.com. And we have our winter season, and we're going to share a little bit about that, but especially want to share about next week's show. Every show is unique. Every show blows me and Scott away. We cook it up and then it happens and it's just beautiful like it is tonight. Next week, January 23rd, our theme is A World in Transition, Building Resilient Communities and Hearts. From eco-villages to urban restoration to cultural emergence and indigenous wisdom, this show will help you learn to rebuild community with all of our relations. And especially now, we have to tap into the sacredness of life and the power of community to keep our hearts and spirits strong. We're going to have many experts on these topics that walk their talk and learn how to create empowered, regenerative, and life-sustaining cultures and communities. We will have as luminaries John Young, Richie De La Cruz, Marisha Auerbach, Cynthia Tina, and as always, really great musicians. Ionero is going to be with us, Shyla Ray Sunshine, and Chad Wilkins. And we're going to have a puppet show with Jonathan Ute. So incredible show next week. Be with us. And then after that, we are going to bring our Indigenous show. We do this once a season, and this is sponsored by Jay Mayer and associate producer Jan Kaplan. It's going to be incredible Indigenous wisdom for navigating these challenging times. So January 30th, don't miss that. And Scott, would you like to share February shows? And where'd he go?
I'm here. I muted myself so you didn't hear the dog. On February 6th, we've got Mark Sims coming back. And we just got word today that Whitley Strieber will be joining him, and Elizabeth April, Adam Apollo, and several other luminaries in the whole field of how to initiate contact and communication with our star family. On February 13th, it's the greatest love of all. It's, of course, Valentine's weekend. And we've got some of the great teachers of the older generation, including Margot Anand. And we've got the next generation of teachers joining us. On February 20th, Teresa Collins is coming back. Once every quarter, she does a show for us, all with global coherence. And our keynote speaker that night is going to be Greg Braden, who is amazing. And then on February 27th, again, once every quarter, we do a show on all the latest, the most top level tools and practices for optimizing our health. So that's going to be a very important show for everybody to tune into. And to complete telling us about March, here's Deborah Back.
March 6th is one of our popular shows that we do every season, the Empowerment of the Divine Feminine. And this is going to be feminine leadership changing our world. And that is definitely happening now. So we're going to have some high-powered feminine leaders sharing how the feminine, divine feminine leadership is really transforming our world now. March 13th is going to be a really special show, understanding and communicating with our animal family. During these times, I think more than ever, our pets are our soul family. And we're going to bring in some experts to understand how to even understand deeper animal family and animals around the world. March 20th, we are going to highlight with the equinox portal activating together in the spring equinox ritual. And March 27th, special moments of Saturday Night Alive. And I'm going to put the sign up link in the chat box, but also on Facebook, so you can sign up and join us on Zoom. And also, if you've already signed up, we suggest you pay it forward and give this as a gift to someone who doesn't know about this medicine of Saturday Night Alive and lighten up their life. So I'm going to put a link in the room, and we have it in our emails called Pay It Forward, where you can give a gift subscription and really brighten up someone's world by giving this away. So thank you so much for all your support.
Thank you, Deborah. Hey, I want to thank a few more people that have donated. I want to thank Catherine Mack, Terry Russo. Terry is one of our regulars. She's always with us. John Raymer. Hey, John, thank you. And thank you, Summer. Iona Marshall. You know, I'm noticing these are people who almost always donate and contribute. So thank you very much. You know, I also want to mention that next week's show, we are going to introduce you to the Mystic Monastery and our good friend, Jerry Anderson. He's the mystic, kind of the abbot of the Mystic Monastery. And this is an amazing place, 10,000 acres in Puerto Rico. And you're going to learn all about that next week. So I wanted to make sure that we added that. So don't miss next week's show. And now to move the show forward, here's another video for you. That's right. We've got 2 more videos that Pato created that are really powerful, and they're intense. And so we're going to show those at the end of the show. So please stick around for that. It's now my pleasure to introduce one of my oldest and dearest friends. And this is Katrina Valancourt. Those of you who came on in the early Zoom room time got a chance to meet her. She's an incredible coach and teacher of nonviolent communication, and she was one of the founders of the Love Coach Academy. And this is John Kenyon. And John is a very beloved nonviolent communication teacher, facilitator, and mediator. And also joining them is my roommate, Paul Sterling. Where are you, Paul? There he is. And Paul also is a remarkable coach and teacher. He's got 2 shows that he does every week on Love Coach Academy. So these are all 3 amazing coaches and facilitators of communication. And they're going to share with us something very important that they're doing called Across the Aisle. Take it away.
Okay, I'll go first. And I just want to say how moved I am just being part of this celebration of Martin Luther King and everybody that's shared and presented. And yeah, it's really moving. And especially in the context of what we're dealing with in the country, in the United States, around the world, but particularly in this country, the polarization, the division, and the level of dividedness of what we believe and trust. And so in the fall, early fall, Paul Sterling and I, and Paul will tell the story, but we started doing these across the aisle events each week. And it really, I have such faith that if we can hear each other, no matter what we believe, however different the beliefs are, if we can just focus on understanding and getting underneath that to what we share about what we want and how we feel, that we can do anything. So, Paul, why don't you share what you wanted to about how this event of Across the Aisle came about?
Well, what happened for me, I'll be brief about it, but I'm a relationship coach, and I watch in divorces, sometimes what happens is parents will weaponize the kids. They use the kids against each other. And I've watched in politics that happening right now. The public is getting weaponized against each other. And I realized that, and I started to feel myself get pulled into it. And I realized that this was not going to work. My short comment on Facebook wasn't going to change anybody's mind. And so I got a hold of John and said, the people need to lead. The politicians will follow when the people lead. When it becomes too uncomfortable for the politicians to continue to promote segregation and differentiation and all that. So I said, let's create Across the Aisle. And we did. And it's been amazing. And it's full circle for me because my parents were at Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. And so there's been a lifelong path. And I'm really love that Katrina joined us. So that's a brief history. There's sure going to be a link where you can get more, but that's it. Katrina.
Sure. I think John was going to say something else first.
Yeah, maybe just to say the process that we came up with to do this. I think I want to tie it into nonviolence because I from early on in my young adulthood, so inspired by Mahatma Gandhi and how Gandhi inspired Martin Luther King in nonviolence, and just the incredible power of what nonviolence is really about. And what we're doing in our Across the Aisle is really about that. How do you meet like what we may be most afraid of to share of our own beliefs or other people's beliefs that scare us and we just get so triggered, but to meet that and face it with understanding and empathy and compassion. So we created this event where people can share and also to say to each other what they hear each other saying, even if they radically disagree, to reflect back what they're understanding and hearing from each other. So we've seen people do this week after week in very moving ways. And Katrina, yeah, please share your experience of it.
Sure, thank you. I found it profoundly healing and also very informative to participate in these events where we do hear a diverse range of people's beliefs, and we hold it in a space that's really safe for everybody to express the way they're perceiving what's going on. Paul had talked a little bit about the dynamics on social media. I tried so hard to engage in intelligent, respectful debate, to avoid the name calling and that kind of thing that is so prevalent on social media, the weaponization of people against each other. And still, the intelligent, rational debate like that falls short with a lot of what's happening here. And so I really appreciate, and across the aisle, we're going to these deeper layers of like, what is the perception, but also what are the feelings that are going on, and what are the values? What is it we want to see in the world? So there's a way of connecting our humanity regardless of our differences. I found this quote from Martin Luther King: "We must learn to live together as brothers, or we will perish together as fools." And it felt so resonant with the work we're doing with Across the Aisle. I can see how, it's so easy to go unconscious and to be foolish in the way we talk to each other. And so let's remember that Inauguration Day is a day for the peaceful transfer of power. Can we make it a peaceful transfer from our need to be right to our need to be connected? So I'm really grateful and honored to be on this project with John Kenyon, Paul Sterling, and friends.
So I'm going to show another beautiful quote that you provided us with. And again, remember that Katrina and John and myself and Paul all teach what we learned with Marshall Rosenberg in nonviolent communication. And here's a quote: "We still have a choice today: nonviolent coexistence or violent co-annihilation. This may well be mankind's last chance to choose between chaos and community." Wow, doesn't that sound like something that could have been written today? Yeah? Incredible, absolutely incredible. So a reminder of how you can all participate. Tomorrow morning, I'm really excited to have Katrina and John as my guests on my weekly Sacred Sunday show. That's at 10 o'clock in the morning. And we'll be focusing on tools for how to listen to people with different political and also spiritual beliefs. And John and Katrina are both masterful in nonviolent communication. All three of us studied deeply with Marshall Rosenberg. And so it's going to be a very powerful, powerful morning. So please join us. And then every Wednesday night is when they do Across the Aisle. And so this Wednesday night, we're going to kind of expand it. And it's going to go from actually 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. And in addition to Katrina and John, Corey Tyler will be joining us. He's a licensed agape spiritual practitioner. And then you know her as Sister Stone. She's been on our show, I think 3 times now, playing music. She also goes by Shayna Gladstone, and she's going to be playing some beautiful music. And for those of you who don't know Shayna, she is very involved in working with Indigenous elders. She lives on a reservation. She has traveled all throughout South and Central America. And she's going to be joining us as well. So thank you, John. Thank you, Katrina. Thank you, Paul. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow morning. And I so appreciate the work you're doing. And I'm noticing a lot of people are in the chat box saying, wow, this is really important. And yes, it is. And speaking of using voice, we now get to go to Nina Gray for her next performance. Thank you, Nina. And Nina, you are muted. We're not hearing you.
Let's turn up the volume a little bit. How's that?
That's good.
Okay, great. Yeah, all of these luminaries, all of these lighthouses, everyone who is participating that I can't see, beaming big love out to you. And I know this show, Saturday Night Live, attracts so much light and so many purposeful people. So thank you for being here, whether it's on the replay or live right now. It's so good to feel your spirit here. This song is dedicated to you, to all of us that are here making this community better, because we are making this choice, and I know it's not going to be chaos. It's going to be community. So this song is Make It Better, and it's a little mashup with the song you may know at the end. So feel free to sing along with me if you do know it. We find ourselves here. Yeah, we're right here, right now. Will we let fear and lies bury us with doubt? Or will we let strength and sweat and courage move us? Really see the truth of us? Well, I say these times are calling on us to rise, rise, rise. Call to the depths of our souls to never lose hope. Yeah, I say these times are calling on us to open our eyes wide, wide, to give all that we got and know there's so much left to do, to make it better for me and you and you and you. Oh, 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 this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, this big light of ours, yeah, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. Wow. So I want to remind everybody that Nina does amazing coaching, and give us an example of some of the coaching that you do and how it's impacted people, Nina.
Totally. The primary work that I do first always is reconnect people with their hum. Often we bypass this step as this sacred tool to find comfort, find strength, to guide us in moments when we feel uncertain, unclear, to connect with our emotional body and our vocal body, to move us through the uncertain, unknown times. And so really honoring and valuing and bringing forth these sacred tools that we all have in our toolbox to move us through these times is something I love to do.
You are so radiant, and my gosh, anybody studying you with you would be blessed. So you can learn more by going to Nina Gray. She spells it NINAGRAE, NINAGRAE.com. And then / go to sessions if you want to learn more about the soul expression work that she does.
Yes, and I have in my line Nina Gray XO. If you want to join me on Instagram, I'm sharing videos of vocal activation and different things of art expression. So if you want to join me there too, I would love to be friends there.
You know, I also want to encourage people, and I've done this. She has a Patreon program, and I've joined her Patreon, and it's great. I get all these special songs, special sharings from her, and you know, Patreon is a wonderful way for us to support our artists. I'm proud to say that I'm supporting 6 artists right now through Patreon, including Nina, and it really is a beautiful way to do it. It's a great. You know, it's like, you know, there's Airbnb and there's Patreon and there's like Saturday Night Live, all these digital ways that we can get our needs met through expanding community. It's a really beautiful thing. So, Nina, I sure hope you'll be back on our show soon.
I would love to be. You know, I would love to be. And thanks to everyone who has inspired my heart so much tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Nina. All right, and to keep moving things forward, here's my partner, Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. Beautiful, Nina. Thank you so much. And now we get to hear from a sacred power couple, and are they ever? They are up to what's on the pulse of what is needed for the planetary transformation. John and Summer Raymer have amazing talents. They are behind the Compassion Games, the Sign Network, and Summer is the Global Chief Joy Officer. John has a huge history as an entrepreneur, civic leader, inventor, musician, but together they are magic. And they've been working on a whole host of Martin Luther King events that have happened, and there's more coming up. So this is really close to their heart. And they're going to share their hearts and share a bit more of what else you can experience to honor Martin Luther King. Hello, John and Summer.
Hello,
Hi.
Deborah. Hello, Scott and everybody. Oh
What
my
a night.
gosh.
Wow.
Wow. So meaningful. And so timely. We all realize we're in uncharted waters. Like Martin Luther King said, we may have come on different ships, but we're all in the same boat. And it's true. We've been blessed. The Compassion Games is a grantee of the Corporation of National Community Service. And MLK Day is a National Day of Service. And we'll be and have been organizing a convergence. I mean, look, like Martin Luther King said, you know, when that doors of opportunity are opening, we need to move into it. And we as a planet are doing that. We had to be locked up in order to open up and find each other spiritually, emotionally, and using this new medium, we see so many amazing things happening. And one of the things is what we call a convergence. We've got 4 different Zoom rooms going with over 50 presentations. In fact, just to show Zoom how this new medium, the Zoom theater performance that Cindy's talking about is part of the convergence. And it's all part of how we are weaving our strategies together. The opening of the MLK Building Beloved Community Convergence was by Hereditary Chief Phil Lane Jr. and the Global Center of Indigenous Sciences and Ancestral Wisdom. So I'm in awe. I'm telling you, we're at a moment, not only are we seeing the political challenges that we're facing, but culturally, we're having the conversation. To hear Reverend Tim before speak so openly and honestly, and to recognize that, you know, this moment requires we get out of our comfort zone. And we're remaking the world. And there's so many amazing presenters that are doing that. And they're not just presenting in the same old sages on stages. It's this kind of inspired engagement in these Zoom rooms that are leading to initiatives and actions. So the whole 4 days of this convergence, which you can see at compassiongames.org/MLK Convergence, is launching 40 days of peace and community service. I mean, if you want to make America great again, Martin Luther King said, everybody could be great because everybody could serve. And right now, man, more than ever, people are hurting and need the love and support. And these kind of creative expressions like Saturday Night Live, this is the new world. We're still in this moment between no longer and not yet. And it's really up to us to reimagine and bring forth that vision of beloved community that Martin Luther King talks about. Yeah, I just want to share this one quote of his that is so timely that I want Summer to share with you as well. But, you know, he got it. And you want to know, it's just sitting there, what a treasure for us as a cultural hero. He said, the aftermath of violence is bitterness. The aftermath of nonviolence is the creation of beloved community. So that when the battle is over, a new relationship comes into being. The end is reconciliation. The end is redemption. This is the love that may well be the salvation of our civilization. So blessed to be able to support Pato and Antoinette and so many others. And did you notice, if you watch that video, those are very timely pictures there. There's some pictures from last week. So it's really, we're in a moment together like we've never been before. And I'm so grateful to everybody's presence here for your willingness to lean in. This is our time. This is what we've been praying for. And I'm so blessed to be here with Summer Joy and for us to be able to be a part of the Sign Network and to support the work of so many, many social innovators. Like Phil says, this is the day that will not be followed by night.
So I just
I'm pulling up your MLK Day of Service, and Summer, tell us a little. I'm going to kind of scroll, and as I scroll, feel free to stop me in particular places and tell us a little bit about it.
There, that's good. So see where the offer to participate. I just want to say tonight, as I listen to Nina and so many of the voices here, it's like, you know, for me, it's very hard for me to sit. I need to move. I want to play. I want to, you know, get into this dream. And, you know, so that is the invitation of this beloved community convergence, that what we're doing tonight is a part of the convergence. That's my timer. We're inviting you all into these Zoom rooms where there are invitations to build beloved community. We are 2 days into this event, and there are people participating as in sharing yes, right there. There are presenters, the stewards. There's 4 different Zoom rooms simultaneously open to really experience and participate in beloved community. For all of you, I saw we had over 300 people in this Zoom room. We need you. We need you to be participating. The ones we can't see, all the panelists that are here, it has been an extraordinary experience. Antoinette Roots-Data, who's does a lot of this music with Pato, her and I have been partnering for over 8 months together, inviting a conversation for women of all races to come together and have a conversation about anti-racism culture building, to talk about white privilege, to have the difficult conversations. And we are, I mean, that is really at the heart of this, is like how to get to come in the Zoom room. It's free. There's so many different places to join in. And I feel it so in this room with all of you in how you're participating, and the things that you are all doing is just, you know, the dream is everyone's dream. It's like, I just feel Dr. King, you know, he's moving through all of us. And I know Dr. Marty Casey from Ungun Institute, who's going to be a part of a roundtable tomorrow, she says, we shall overcome now.
Thank you so much, John and Summer. Again, I'm going to go one more time. The website, they do the Compassion Games, and we're going to have to do a whole show just on the Compassion Games, because that's very powerful. But go to compassiongames.org/MLK Convergence. And there's a lot still happening tomorrow and on Monday. So please, 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 really want to invite everybody to participate. And thank you, John and Summer, for all that you do, for getting us out every weekend. You get both Straight Talk and this show out to your Sign Network. hoping maybe you'll do a sine wave for our show tomorrow morning, this Sunday show. That'd be really awesome. And, you know, I was going to show this video a little bit later, but Summer was talking about our dear friend Antoinette. And you know what? I think that's a good segue because Summer's been doing a lot of work with Antoinette. And this is a great video that Pato did about Antoinette and the Wall of Moms International. And this is, again, a really important example of people of all colors coming together in community in a powerful way. Whoa. Thank you, John and Summer. I know you've traveled all over, done a lot of work with Antoinette and Pato. You introduced them to me. So thank you. And we love you guys a lot.
No, Scott, I just want to say the wall came down. I remember no one expected it.
Yeah.
We're at a moment like that. Change come to America. We're having conversations I never thought we'd have. There's a moment here not to be missed. Love you, brother, sisters, everybody. Game on.
We shall overcome now.
Today.
Together.
God bless you both. Thank you so much. Love you guys.
Thank you.
You know, every single person on this show we could talk to for hours. You know, that's why we do, frankly, that's why I do my Straight Talk show, my Sacred Sunday show, so all of you can get more time with Lumumba, with John and Summer, and John and Katrina. We've got a lot of Johns in tonight's show. Anyway, here's where we're going next. So here's Deborah and Cindy, because we're going to talk a little bit more about what she's doing tomorrow, and myself. And this is a new part of our show that we really enjoy sharing those things that are important to us. So we just heard about what John and Summer are doing, and we really want to encourage everybody to go to what they're doing. And Deborah, you want to talk a little bit more about Cindy's show?
Definitely. We want to highlight this incredible Zoom theater celebrating Dr. King's dream, Words That Make a Difference, Brown versus Board of Education. It's tomorrow, the 17th at 1 p.m. on Zoom. And Supreme Court Justice Earl Warren said, to separate children from others of similar age solely because of their race generates a feeling of inferiority as to their status in the community that may affect their hearts and minds in an unlikely way and never be undone. So I think this highlights what this incredible show is going to be about. And love to bring Cindy back on again to share a little bit more about it. And I'm going to be posting links in the chat room where you can sign up and be a part of it tomorrow.
Yeah, Cindy's with us.
So one of the things that I want to say that the play was designed to help people to see is the importance of allies. Just how incredibly important allies are, and that it's a part of this work that we're in. And that's how we will continue to move forward. And where people are saying, in all of this stuff that's going on about race, what can we do? How can we be? And feeling guilty. And I always say, move out of the guilt and just move forward. Move forward to the place where you can partner and be an incredible ally. And so each of the witnesses, each of the attorneys put their lives on the line to bring about change. And they knew, as Martin Luther King Jr. said, a right delayed is a right denied. And they knew that at this point, this was the last chance that they were going to have easily to have brought this issue to the Supreme Court and to have moved what is going on with segregation. And so they felt that it was important. And as I learned about each of them, I just kept saying to myself, this is what beloved community is all about. This is be loved. It's loving everyone enough to stand beside, behind, and in front of. And so are we doing the clip now, Scott?
Yes. Tell us about what this clip is.
The clip that we're going to see, the actor was John L. Short, and he plays Hugh Spear, who was a sociologist who knew what was at stake. He, in fact, got a number of the other expert witnesses to be a part of that particular court case when other people were saying no, that they were afraid for their lives. And so he came on prepared. He did a lot of research, and he wanted to say what was the words that the judges needed to hear, that when we discriminate, when we segregate, that we wound the insides of people, that we we hurt the spirit and their own self-esteem. And so this particular clip is about his desire to have those words to explain just that.
Okay, here we go.
And we might add, the more heterogeneous the group in which the children participate, the better they function in our multicultural and multi-group society. For example, if the colored children are denied the experience in school of associating with white children, who represent 90% of our national society in which these colored children must live, then the colored child's curriculum is being greatly curtailed. The Topeka curriculum or any school curriculum cannot be equal under segregation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I want to say thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to share the couple of clips and to talk about the play. I think it is so important that people can go home with other lived experiences. I think that that's a part of what helps us to begin to understand. And when I hear people say, I couldn't possibly know or feel what it's like to go through the oppression that people of color have gone through, and I understand that, but come close. And we can come close by taking those experiences and trying to put our feet in and trying to get some sense of them, some bit of understanding. And I'm hoping that this play can be a touchstone to begin to allow people to take history home and to have some deep understanding that changes who they are.
Thank you so much, Cindy. And just one more time, a reminder that people can learn all about this by going to Words That Made the Difference, brownvboard.org. And Deborah's been doing a great job of putting that link into the chat box. So that's what
someone asked if the replay was going to be available because I can't make it at that time, and I assume it will be. Correct, Cindy?
You can go to the website, and there's a way to be able to make contact with me to say, is there some way that I can see this again?
Okay.
And what we hope for is that we'll be able to share it with communities. And so please put that in your hat.
Thank you so much. Well, we're going to spotlight another incredible community leader. He might actually be in the audience watching. And this is Ricardo Moncrief. He's 80 years old and still going strong. He has raised millions and millions and millions of dollars to support the less fortunate. He's an incredible guy, and he happens to also be a jazz artist. And so again, as we continue to celebrate those community leaders, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Ricardo.
Hello, my name is Ricardo Moncrief, and I'm a Vietnam vet. I'm also an artist. And I'd like to share real quickly, my experiences coming out of Vietnam, PTSD, and emerging as an artist and a social activist. I'm a musician, not because I was trained to be a musician. I'm a musician because I love it. And I just found out there's a lot of health benefits tied to music, but there's also a lot of health benefits tied to all forms of art: culinary art, fine arts, pop arts, cartooning, environmental arts. But I also found out that most people kind of like push this over to the side. They don't take it, they take it for granted, like whatever you're doing, there's up to 26 health benefits attached to dance: flexibility, balance, muscles, breathing, sweating, a lot of different things. What I did was create, the universe of Madame Flood Puppy. That's where you can have fun creating images and taking these images and tie them to all type of health messaging. it can be fun. You can take your drawings and take leaf blowing or anything you consider as an art, and make it yours. Invent an art form. Just name it. You will own it. It will be part of your self-esteem, and you can keep it in your memoirs for all times. The good part about arts is that, everybody can do it. There's always something artistic around. And if you look around your environment, you find that it takes you in a different direction. It allows your mind, it allows your body to adapt to different things. And when I was in Vietnam, it became an essential part of my survival. When I started creating a lot of funny little names and cartoons and, images that come out of your mind, creative products that, develop on your own, your sense of creativity and how you can own that, and you could share it with anybody that you want to share it with, or you can create a creative circle and share artistic works with one another. A type of social equity that most people don't even think about. We had a community full of artists, and instead of people that are totally looking for fights or looking for destructive things to do, it can change. It can shift, it can shift the attitudes and the ambiance of a community around where we become collectively more healthier. Hey, look. That was just made up.
Oh, thank you, Ricardo Moncrief. Thank you so much. Beautiful, beautiful man. And a reminder that Ricardo is a big part of our beneficiary tonight. And I want to thank those of you who are still supporting. We just got contributions, more anonymous. I contributed earlier today, to be honest. I want to thank Susie Karasik, one of our dear friends. Susie contributed a very generous contribution from Jiyun Clark. Thank you, Jiyun. And again, as we're look at all these artists. You met Lumumba earlier today. These are all artists that your support is going to help out. And very different: rap, children's book author, dancer, fine artist, a vocal stylist, dancer, sculptress, Ricardo. A lot of very different ways that people are creating them, creative expression, and we want to support them. So please continue to contribute. We really want to support these artists, especially in this time. Well, speaking of artists, we now have another wonderful musical number. And Deborah, if you're there, I'm going to have you do the introduction. Otherwise, it's going to be on me. Jenya, welcome back.
Hi there. How are you guys? Oh, hold on. Wait. Hi. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah. Are you enjoying the show?
I am. Yeah. It's very eye-opening, and it's also very, I'll say, inspiring, or yeah, I think that's the best word, to see so many like-minded people in the sense of progress, especially in the country and in the state of where everything is. The partition that we've seen kind of build over the last couple of years, especially the last year, it's gotten, it wears on you. It becomes difficult to want to see, the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's a prevalent discussion I have with a lot of friends and classmates, but understanding that there are people who have a large standing in the community right now and are working on that same goal is definitely very uplifting, reminding that it's okay, this too shall pass and we can all rise together. So it's been great, very enlightening.
Yeah, well, it's beautiful to have you with us. And
Thank you.
Let Oshala know. Oshala, you're going to come on with your spoken word right after Jenna. Jenna, what do you have for us?
So this next song I'm going to do, I have a backing track. I'm going to be doing a cover of Higher Love by Whitney Houston. Yep. It's a piano version, so it's a bit slower, but I think it's a beautiful song. I think it definitely speaks to the connectedness that we all have and that desire and the ability to, find something deeper in all of us and kind of reconnect on that higher love, that higher level. So I'm going to go ahead and get that set up. Let me just... Okay. And Scott, do I just go ahead whenever it's ready?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're waiting for you. It's all on you, love.
Okay.
And you're doing great.
Thank you. All right. Let's see. Think about it. There must be high and low, down in the heart, hidden in the stars above. Without it, life is wasted time. Look inside your heart, now look inside mine. Things look so bad everywhere. In this whole world, what's fair? We walk blind, we try to see, falling behind in what could be. Bring me a higher love, bring me a higher love, bring me a higher love. Where's that higher love I keep thinking of? Worlds are turning and we're just hanging on, facing our fears and standing out there alone. The yearning, and it's real to me. There must be someone who's feeling for me. Things look so bad everywhere. In this whole world, what's fair? We walk blind, we try to see, falling behind in what could be. Bring me a higher love, bring me a higher love, bring me a higher love. I could rise above on your higher love. I will wait for it. I'm not too late for it, no. Until then I sing my song to chill the night alone. I could light the night up with my soul on fire. I could make the sun shine from pure desire. Let me feel that love come over me. Let me feel how strong it could be. Bring me a higher love, bring me a higher love, bring me a higher love. And I could rise above on that higher love. That is Higher Love. Thank you guys so much.
It's just beautiful, just beautiful. And
Thank
as we all put our attention, this was Zhenya's first time doing Zoom. It's hard to believe you're only 20 years old. I mean, you're amazing.
Thank
and you've
you
got
very
such
much.
you have a beautiful life and a beautiful career ahead of you.
Thank you. Watching all of you guys interact, that was very comforting. I really appreciated that. That was beautiful to see. For all of you who I could see and everybody else who's watching and listening, thank you. I was very nervous, but you guys made it feel like a community. That was beautiful to see. So thank you very much. And thank you again, Scott and Deborah and everybody for having me and all the other amazing performers. It means the world.
Well, I sure hope you'll come back. We definitely are going to invite you back, Zhenya.
I would love
and,
to. Thank
and
you.
again, you can learn more about her by going to Instagram, She spells it Jenya, Jenya Carter. Facebook, she's at Jenya Carter Music. On YouTube, just put in her name, Jenya Carter. Or you can email her at jenya00@gmail.com.
Email or message on Instagram if you have any questions or would like to connect in the future. Please reach out. I definitely would like to be reaching out to some of the other amazing individuals I've seen on here this evening. So thank you guys very much. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you.
Welcome to the Global Peace Tribe. Yeah. And again, remember everybody that the Global Peace Tribe, this is an ongoing, we're growing. This all is an evolution. For, some of you who don't know our story, Deborah and I are longtime friends. We've known each other for 35 years. She was the creator of the Harmony Festival, which I went to every year and participated in as a speaker or video or whatever I was doing at the time. And we were going to do a fundraising event for a good friend of ours in early March. And then the pandemic hit. And instead of doing a live event, she said, Scott, can we do something online? And we thought we'd do it. And we thought it was going to be one time. And then all of a sudden it became more clear that the pandemic was going to be a bigger deal and more significant. And people started saying, well, do it again. That was really fun. And what started just grew and grew and grew. And now we're international. We have people watching all over the world because we're on Unify. We get emails from people in South America, Australia, all over. And it keeps growing. And now we're adding workshops. We just agreed we're going to do a 4-hour workshop with Andrew Harvey, one of our favorite speakers. And we're really growing in wonderful ways. And the most important thing of what I want to say is that all of you are just as important. Obviously, we can only have a certain number of people on the show, but everyone listening, you're all, again, I'm going to use this analogy over and over, butterfly cells. When a caterpillar is dying, and you can imagine the chaos going on inside a caterpillar as it's dying. It's terrifying. Death is scary. And, the body is dying and everything's changing. But the imaginal cells inside the caterpillar as it's dying find each other. And they coagulate, they come together, and then they feed off the dying caterpillar and become the butterfly. And that's who we all are. We are all imaginal cells in the new world. We're going to create the new paradigm together. We're going to create that world of peace and harmony. And we're in that stage where the old paradigm is dying and it's chaotic and it's confusing and it's scary. But every imaginal cell has a purpose. Maybe you're a teacher. Maybe your purpose right now is just to rest and relax, and spirit will show you your purpose later on down the line. Maybe your purpose is to play music. Maybe your purpose is to write. Maybe your purpose is to take care of your younger brothers and sisters or to take care of somebody. Whatever it is, your purpose is divine. And that's where we chose that Martin Luther King video. What is your divine blueprint? Or as beautiful Sri Kala asked us, to tune in, what is your dream? Because when we tune in to our higher self, whatever you want to call it God, higher self, source. When we align with that, we're given guidance. If we're lucky, we're given a big vision, a big dream. Sometimes our guidance is just to rest, or just to take care of our family, or just to do more self-care. Sometimes our guidance is just for the day. Let's all tune into our guidance. We're all important and we're all coming together. And that's what Global Peace Tribe is all about. That's what this show is all about. That's what all the amazing, inspiring presenters and musicians that we're seeing are all about. And grateful. And so with that, I've got a few more videos to play. And after this video, we're going to hear from Oshala.
So I'm unmuted, Scott.
You are, but hold on one second, Oshala. We hear you, but I just got to play this video real quick.
Okay.
After my dramatic speech, I had to play the Join the Global Peace Tribe video, right? So now I get to turn it over to my friend of 39 years. We have had many adventures together, and I sure am appreciating this one. And Oshala has a beautiful spoken word to share with us.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everyone, really, for coming together like this at this time. We're really at a precipice, and we are at a place where there's so many things that are done in our name that we really don't agree with. And how do we really fortify ourselves with resilience to create our own game? And that's what this is really about, this spoken word piece. In my name? No, not in my name. Blood, profit from oil, murder of civilians? No, not in my name. Yet, I find myself playing this game. Cheap gas for my car while I drive to my favorite restaurant, bar, or peace vigil. Bottled water in hand, smothered in plastic that smothers my innocence, lying in a landfill heap of old athletic shoes and clothes made by less than low-paid workers might as well be slaves who give me their lives so that I can be free to shop for a deal. The ancestral blood of bondage flowing through my veins is tainted by this stain. Not in our name, yet we live in the shame of not knowing what to do, so we do nothing, hoping that someone, something will vindicate in our name the outrageous wrongs, the ongoing war on drugs, on poverty, on women, on children, on brown-skinned people. Can't believe we're still singing this song. I live in a status quo land that says, fuck the rest. So much pressure to be the best. But what do I stand for? And what must I see? What must I give up or give to in order for not in my name to be? For while I will admit collusion, I do not want for my words and especially my actions to be an illusion of activism. Am I willing to die, to defy the lawmakers, to go to prison, to watch the blood of my friends and family run chrism in the streets where we rally for peace? Yes? Or if no, then what will I do to not just blame the stupid boys who play with their toys of mass destruction? I don't know what will work, but I do know that I would be a mere recording clerk if I do not walk the talk, create the world for the possibilities of what I want to see. So yes, in my name, if I play a new game with others who know that not in our name is a mere refrain for something else.
Thank you, Oshala. Thank you. It was incredible, incredible. I just noticed it's really beautiful that somebody's 11-year-old daughter was inspired by Shenya, and now she's going to go record. That's pretty cool.
That's beautiful. I mean, I was, you know, when I wrote those words, you know, am I willing to die, to defy the lawmakers, to go to prison, to watch the blood of my friends and family run chrism in the streets where we rally for peace? That's all about. Dr. Martin Luther King was ready to die. He was ready to, no, he was not ready. He was there to defy the lawmakers, to let his blood to run chrism in the streets, which ultimately it did. And so in some countries, when you walk out on that street, you need to be prepared to die, truly. And are our convictions that strong And if they're not, what else can we do? But every day there are people who are dying and spilling their blood for their convictions. And so that piece is really about what you just said, Scott. What can we do? It may not be to go out in the street and protest, because that can be very dangerous. It's very real. We live in a very violent culture. We all saw the Capitol. We all said, man, if that had been Black folks.
Oh my Lord, can you imagine? Yeah.
People mowed down, right? It would not have happened. It's just, and we just know that. And for us to just be real, that Straight Talk show that you did last night, to be real about the truth of where we are, how our country was created, and what are we doing now to heal, and what can each one of us do. And so that poem is ultimately really about, if I create the world and the possibilities for what I want to see. So yes, in our name, if we play a new game, if I play a new game with others who know that not in my name, that's a start, but it's just a refrain for what is it that we're going to create together. And I'm sitting in this art gallery now. It is a collective. I really believe that the way moving forward for us artists is to form collectives and cooperatives, because the old model of the old capitalist model of, just do it all yourself, kind of that John Wayne thing, that's not in everybody's way of being. And it might be messier to do it as a collective, but it sure is much more fun to support my brother, to support my sister, and to allow for myself to disappear in that supporting, and then to rise up and have them lift me up, and to go in and out of really, what does it mean to really be in collective and to create in collective.
So Shala, I'm going to go to a couple of websites that again reflect what you're doing. And I want to thank Phyllis and Carol, who've just donated to MC Arts and Culture. And again, this is the website where you can donate. You go to flipcause.com/secure/cause. Use the link that we've been putting in the chat box, but this is where that link is going to take you. And then you can choose if you're going to donate one time, monthly, quarterly. And this is really, really important. And again, just a reminder, as we take a look at all that's going on in the art gallery. Remember, we saw Lumumba, and here I am going to go back to—
And Ricardo's part of our collective.
Yeah. So again, take a look at all these artists that are part of the collective, right? Fine artists, painters, mixed media, dancers, children book author, lyrical rap artists. There's Ricardo right next to Oshala. And on the other side of them is Wanda. She looks interesting. A sculptress, right? This is so important to support all these people on all the different creative expressions. So please, there's still plenty of time to go to the links that we've been putting in and to donate. And I also want
to be clear, Scott, that MC Arts and Culture is a membership group of artists. The collective is a group of 7 of us that got together to actually create this art gallery and gift shop down here in the shopping center. But the whole organization exists to support each other. But the collective is really a smaller piece of that, of those that kind of those, foot warriors that really wanted to create a brick and mortar.
Well, thank you for doing that. And you've had to go online with it because of COVID. So there's a brick and mortar has also gone digital. And that's why it's important for us to digitally support it.
Yeah.
And as if you're not doing enough, tell us about what you got going on Monday, January 18th.
Okay, so I put in the chat, but I know that the chat, there's so much stuff in chat. Actually there, people can click on that. This link here. So tomorrow, actually, we've been filming all day. That's why you see me talking from my phone right now. We've been filming Community. We have a live hop in. So if you actually go to hopin.com, and you just type in Marin City, it will also because evidently there's not a lot of events on Hop In that are in Marin City. So if you go there, it will take you to a ticket. It's free to attend. And it's going to be a few hours event of really community celebrating of Martin Luther King, some of his lesser known speeches, and really some things. And we have pulled together a panel of young people, 20 something, 30 something, that are really discussing our theme is passing the torch. And we're really talking very straight talk about what's going on for them as Black men and women in America, and where they're going, and the similarities between the civil rights movement and the Black Lives Matter movement. And but we have talent, children are performing, and we have community awards. So it's very local on one end, and yet it's very international on the other end as well. So it's just a time to come together and chill with our local Marin City community. This is our 23rd year of celebrating coming in community. I grew up going to, our Martin Luther King celebration every year.
Wow. Well, thank you, Oshala. I love you. I love what you're doing. And let's please continue to donate, everybody. Let's continue to donate.
Thank you, everyone. Really appreciating it. Really much love.
We're going to go a little bit longer because there's a couple more videos. And I want to acknowledge we still got Paul Sterling and Jania and Cindy and Lumumba. I love that name, Lumumba. Such a great name. Summer, I see a lot of our friends are still with us watching. And we still have about 200 people in the Zoom room and hundreds, maybe even thousands watching on Facebook. So got a couple more videos to show. And this next one, this is not for children, but it's really important. It's a video that actually I played during our Black Lives Matter show after the murder of George Floyd. We had a Black Lives Matter show, and we did 6 straight weeks on Straight Talk of just having people of color talking. And that included Pato, who created this very powerful video. And it's not always easy to watch, and it is so important. It is such an important video. So I'm going to pull it up, and it's, yeah. And I really appreciate all the people that are still with us at home watching, and also those of you watching the video replay. Here we go.
From slavery to right now, this ain't nothing new. All lives matter. You see, black people face the worst persecution, and you know it's true. All lives matter. But remember that black lives matter too. Yes, black lives matter. Some say they don't see color, well they must be color blind. I see real prejudice all the time, see hate in the eyes of a racist mind, and suffer injustice with a plastic smile. See yellow tapes and signs saying don't cross the line, another brother just died without a proven crime. Oh Jah, this world can be so unkind, and life can be bitter like a glass of lime. So many conversations are a waste of time, like throwing your pearls before a bunch of swine. mine. Genuine people can be so hard to find, especially when you're living on the front line. We know that all lives matter, but remember that Black Lives Matter too. So you wanna make America great again? Please tell me when, with your long history of genocide, a trail of blood that you just can't hide. The murder and rape of all native tribes, so many years of slavery, a wicked crime, oh Jah, it still blows my conscious mind. Slavery, sharecropping, and then Jim Crow. You always tear us down every time we try to grow. Yes, Martin Luther paid the greatest price for peacefully fighting for our civil rights. Now how many more must we sacrifice? Emmett Till, Timmy Rice, Eric Garner cried, I can't breathe. 11 times, 76 bullets took Jamarion's life. Nearly 9 minutes on the neck of George Floyd. Lord, I can still hear my brother's cries. We know that all lives matter, but remember that Black Lives Matter too. Mix me now. We got racist police not afraid to show it, and prejudiced people who don't even know it. Every time we tell them that Black Lives Matter, you should see the temperature getting hotter. Then here they come with a bag of chitter chatter, telling us again that all lives matter. But when you check out the national data, it's mostly black people getting better, killed or in jail for the simplest of matter. Fatherless families shattered and scattered. They make the most nice when Kaepernick takes honey, but not a song when we die innocently. They call this the home of the brave, land of the free. 50 years before the end of slavery, but the whole world sees the brutality, the Confederate flags and hypocrisy. Never too late if we truly believe what we can see. We will achieve together as a family. We know that all lives matter, but remember that Black Lives Matter too. Black Lives Matter too. You got to remember that Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter too. Yeah. Black Lives Matter too.
I'm coming over there. I gotta reduce this thing. Don't worry about it.
Always remember to keep ourselves muted. Yeah, that's a very powerful video. Very powerful. And I really want to acknowledge again Pato Banton, who just has made so many powerful videos that we've been showing and using. And earlier tonight, when I was talking about supporting Nina Gray, I talked about how she has a Patreon account. And Patreon is a wonderful way for us to support artists. And Pato also has a Patreon account. It's easy to go there. Just go to Patreon, patreon.com / and then you can put in Nina Gray if you want to become an ongoing patron of Nina or Pato Banton. And then you kind of join at any level, $3 a month, $5 a month, $25 a month. And that allows these artists to continue to do their work, and they create videos, and it's very, very, very powerful. It's a wonderful way for us to support our artistic friends. Now, there's Nina Gray. She's still with us. Oh my gosh, I got to put her on for a second. Nina, since you're still with us, tell us a little bit about how Patreon how has that worked for you? Tell us a little bit about that.
You know, I'll just share quickly that Music Making Monday, I love alliteration, and it's been a really beautiful way to share weekly musings, thoughts, just spiritual downloads with the community, and have an outlet to share this work in a way that allows the frequency of reciprocity to be open. And like you said, to continue to fund the work and share these musical messages.
Great, great. And are you on, I'm trying to remember because I actually get it, but I forget. Are you Nina Gray or Nina Porter?
Nina Gray.
You are Nina Gray.
Grae, yeah.
That's what I thought. Well, thank you for still being with us. What a show, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, everybody, we're winding down. I want to thank Deborah Giusti, who needed to get some dinner. But Deborah does so much to make the show happen. Thank you to all of our presenters, Zhenya, Nina, Sri Kala. Amazing music tonight. Thank you, Summer and John Kenyon. Paul Sterling is still with us. Katrina Valancourt. And again, a reminder, please join us tomorrow morning for the Sacred Sunday show. And we really, honestly, all three of us are very good coaches, and we're going to coach you on how to manage those difficult conversations with people who have different political or spiritual beliefs. So do join us tomorrow. You can watch live on Facebook or come on into the Zoom room, and I'll put the Zoom room up on my Facebook profile page shortly after we hang up. And let's also continue to support the amazing collective and cooperative that Oshala, those seven, and then all the people that are supported by the 7 foot soldiers. And let's just all support each other. And let's be kind. And I'm going to close with one last thought. You know, we talked about Marshall Rosenberg, who is a very important teacher for myself, for Paul, for John, for Katrina. And Marshall taught about enemy images. He taught that when soldiers go to war, before they hit the battlefield, they're taught to dehumanize the enemy. So my grandfather, when he went to Europe in World War II, he was trained, he wasn't trained to kill Hans, Jürgen, or Peter. He was there to kill the dirty Nazis. Or if he had been in the Pacific, to kill the evil Japs. Our current military, when they're dropping bombs, they aren't told that you're dropping bombs on Abdul Mohammed Rasooli. You're dropping bombs on the evil terrorists. You know, we do the same thing when we assign an enemy image to another person. An enemy images might be when we say, what an asshole, what a bitch, what an idiot. Those are enemy images. We're dehumanizing somebody. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. And especially just because somebody has a different religious belief, spiritual belief, a different race, a different culture, or a different political belief. Let's notice when we're assigning an enemy image. When have we taken that human being who's got a different idea or a different belief, or maybe has said or done something that doesn't meet our values? We can still acknowledge, wow, that doesn't work for me. That's not what I believe, or that's not how I like to be. But let's not dehumanize each other. Let's just start by noticing that, including yourself. Even noticing when you go, God, I'm such an idiot. Oh my God, I'm such a screw up. Same thing. Let's not assign enemy images to others or to ourselves, because that's a really important way to create peace in the world. And I want to thank Marshall up in heaven, hopefully watching down and seeing some of his proteges and students coming together. Thank you, everybody. It's been a really beautiful and special evening. Good night. Have a beautiful weekend. Peace.